What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kind of Funny podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer slash seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, how are you?
Good, I'm well.
Good, I'm glad.
Good.
You're typing up a big email or something over there.
No, a text thread.
Oh.
I'm a texter now. I'm texting all over the
Oh, you're a
place.
big texter.
I'm surprised I'm not texting right now.
Oh my gosh! Wow,
yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah, lots of text.
What are you putting in the threads? Who's it with?
Comedy show stuff. Just trying to figure out some.
Yeah, you guys are probably just cutting them up in there, having a good one, huh?
We're cutting them up.
Jerry
there.
Seinfeld in there?
I mean, they call me the Jerry Seinfeld of San Francisco.
Do they?
No.
Okay.
They do not.
He's a Hispanic heartthrob, Texas treat, Latino heat, clicking heads, ripping them to shreds. The globe trotting, head shotting, rootin' tootin', 3-point shooting. Nitro rifle from Twitch.tv. Andy Cortez.
Hello.
That's it, huh?
Oh, I'm just kind of,
Gonna ease
I'm
into it today?
I'm a big texter now. I'm a bit.
Can I ask you a question, Greg?
I'd love it, yeah.
Here we
Close
go.
your eyes
Here
for a
we go.
second. If I were to say the following words in this particular impression, would you get the impression right off the bat, or would you have more questions afterward? Ready for it?
I mean, that was a riddle within itself, but yes.
Our internet's the best. We have the best internet here. I've seen it better, but we have great internet here.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Who
your
is it?
Trump. That's your Trump.
Andy is gaslighting me. He's a gaslighter with my impressions. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
I do spot on impressions, and he goes, I don't know who is that? Who could that possibly be?
He never
Who could that
said
be?
that. The question was it a good impression?
Yeah, it was also happening while a lot of other people were talking at the same time, and the whole time I was just like, I don't know
Best
what Nick's
impressions
doing right
break
now.
through. You gotta let my power break through, bro.
Murders with Merton says it's not a good trip.
But you know what it was. But you know it's trouble.
Well,
Thank you,
Again.
Joe Mertens.
And welcome to the show.
Joe Burton's
For the
ban
first
yourself.
time in 7 years.
Wow, it's been that long.
Danika, a.k.a. Comic Book Girl. Welcome back. How are you?
Hey, thanks.
It's the problem around here that Andy, infinitely talented.
Yeah.
Very talented.
So good, on point,
Yeah.
funny,
At what?
everything.
Okay.
Period.
Anything.
You whatever you and you want to see a kick flip,
Basketball.
this kid will
Can
do it
do
right
it.
there.
Okay.
But when it comes to impressions, he'll do it, and that immediately sets Nick off in a challenge that he has to also do.
Oh.
But he can't.
Oh,
But he
Not
that
as
doesn't
good.
stop him.
I'm not as good.
And you
got
got to
an
appreciate
impression
that.
But
off.
today, on our Twitch stream, unprovoked, I just did it. It was the first time I just came out of the gate with the Trump impression. And I'm looking for look, I know I'm not the best player on the court, okay? But I'm looking for an assist here from Andy, right?
Okay.
Andy's like our LeBron. I'm just looking for just do
Right.
something that I can get on the highlight reel with.
Just
I don't have to be
right.
the one that shoots a shot, but go behind the back to me. I pass it right back to you. You
Right.
put it in the hoop.
I'll celebrate with you.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I go, Andy, I'm open. Andy's guarded by 3 guys. Andy looks at me and goes, nah, son, not today.
I'm getting this 3 up.
I mean, when you're Michael
I'm
Jordan,
getting my shot up.
you're at best BJ Armstrong.
Yeah.
That's a good reference right there.
I know the Bulls.
I wanted to reference just something I mentioned today. When I came back from vacation a couple months ago, I was gone about a week and a half. And when I came back, Nick started doing some impression, and Kevin and Snowbike Mike were like, Andy, the whole time you're gone, Nick did not do one impression. And the second you're back, he immediately.
It's because, can I be honest about
I mean,
those guys?
yeah, sure.
They're duds.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? They're duds. They're the equivalent of fly paper that's all over the floor.
Right,
I mean,
right.
Stuck on them all the time. They don't glide with us. They don't
No,
fly with
they
you.
don't. They don't do
They're
it.
stuck on the ground. I like to be up in the space with you, in the air.
Absolutely.
You know
come in, we
who-
bring the
Flying
fun.
high.
You know who's another loser? And I'd like to introduce you to them, Danika, all right?
Oh.
This gentleman's name is Cody Hagler.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
Cody
come on.
Hagler is in the chat live right now,
Okay.
each and every episode.
Okay.
He is
I
a
see.
bad
Cody.
person,
No,
right.
married
that's
to
not-
a great
That
person
is
named
not
Melissa.
true.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And when we were getting ready to go live, Cody did his best. He got to the keyboard and he picked up his 2 hooves. And he wrote this. This is a live read, all right? Hey, everyone. Greg told Melissa to, quote, dump. And his hoof hit enter and he sent
Yeah.
that
Right.
one.
Uh-oh.
Then he follows up with,
Has hoof
then
unsent.
immediately goes, quote, dump. Sent that too. And then he stopped trying to tell the story.
And then he went,
So I'll bring you up to speed, all right? Because a lot of people think, oh, Greg's too mean to Cody Hagler all the time. He won't follow him on Instagram.
Danika, just so you know, this is just a fan who's here supporting and watching.
Pays money to watch
Right.
Yeah,
this. Watch
yes.
for
this.
no
Yes.
reason.
Supports us with hard-earned
Miller has
dollars.
decided to
No
be mean to him.
reason I bring in exhibit, I'll say C. Because I'm sure I've given A and B
Oh,
before
okay,
why we
okay.
shouldn't be on Cody Hagler's side. Exhibit B comes from yesterday,
Okay.
1:30 in the afternoon. Melissa Hagler with child,
Yes.
about to pop any day.
Yeah.
So anything could set her off.
Right.
Maybe the realization that, oof,
She
Oh.
married
could
a
have thought
hoofman.
this one through. Why
Is
there a good
why'd I got a
Is this
hoofman?
baby gonna have hooves?
Melissa responds on my Instagram to my story, which was, of course, the pumpkin spice Oreos. And I said, yes. And she responds, and this is like Exhibit C, everybody. If you were like on the fence, do I like Cody? Is Greg too hard on him? Cody talked me out of these at the store the other day, and then we bought the Trader Joe's versions, which taste just like vanilla to me. So now I have to go back out and buy these like I should have done the first time.
Oh,
Well, he
man.
has to go back out because she's pregnant.
Exactly. So that's,
Yeah, but
Isn't that the
clearly,
job
that's
of
Exhibit D right there.
Isn't that their job is to go get the wife cookies?
if you screw up once,
well, that's
you know,
true
you
too.
can't.
Yeah,
What are
yeah.
you
It's
gonna do?
over. It's over.
you're gonna send him back out. He's gonna come back with Newman's O's.
He is gonna come back with some shit. Yeah.
Gluten-free Oreos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyways,
Okay,
what
I
Goat
see,
Boy was
yeah.
trying to say is what I gave sage-like advice to Melissa.
Go.
Goat Boy Hagler. What I told Melissa was this, and this is a direct quote. If I'm lying, I'm dying. You can read it on my
I'm
shoulder. if you
reading it
want.
over right there.
Fucking dump this loser.
Uh-huh.
How
Right
can he?
now.
And then I go, how can he expect to be all caps a father?
Yeah.
With these decision-making skills.
You're a father.
I am a father.
And you get it.
Yeah, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to act in the moment.
Boom.
I can't see my son choking and go, oh, this will pass, because that's what he just did with these Oreos. That's the same equivalent to this.
Really?
That's the same.
That's the equivalent
that's
right there.
totally-
You get the
yeah.
life vac out. And you put it on their face. Everybody's got the life vac. I got the life vac.
Wait,
you
what's
know?
a life hack?
It's one of those like
The suction cup.
yeah. It's like you
basically
put it over the kid's mouth, and you can do that.
Oh, for babies,
adult
like
too. You can do it adult too.
I'd like to do this
just
to
to
smell
cup
like
them out.
Mike.
And you suck the food out. Yeah, sure. I'll bring it in.
Can we do that?
Yeah, sure.
Just
Well,
see
I
what-
guess I should
see
get
what
another
comes
one.
up.
I shouldn't take the
No,
one.
I don't want to
That'll be
I
a
don't
day
want to choke
Yeah.
him.
You know how it is.
But I think it'd be fun to see, like, do it. Like, can Andy do it next time we do morning show? You put something in your mouth. We'll see if we can suck it out.
Ooh.
I like this one. I like this one quite a bit. I'll tell you what. You're onto something there.
I don't know if I'll agree to
You're
this.
onto something.
By not agreeing to it, you agree to it.
Exactly.
You
You're
know
pretty
what I
much in. You're in it.
mean? Yeah, you're there.
Speaking of being in it, hey Danica, you're in the show. How you doing?
Hey.
Welcome
hi.
back.
Thank you.
7 years. What's happened?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Run me through it, because we're no longer Comic Book Girl 19. We've
Yeah,
left it behind us.
We've rebranded. The internet made a woman of me.
Mm.
I no
Good.
longer felt like a girl. And so I have rebranded to my name. I have a sweet name, Danica. My
Real good
mom
name.
hooked it up for me.
It's a badass
So-
name.
Yeah, and I kept the 19, so I did Danica XIX, which is Roman numeral 19.
Smart.
A lot of people don't get that, but that's so there is a continuity, but it's classier because it's Roman numerals.
Of course.
because I'm
yeah,
an
yeah.
adult
you're,
now.
You're the
I'm a-
thinking.
I'm a woman now,
sense.
so we have Roman numerals. And yeah, I've been Twitch streaming.
Yeah.
I've read all 6 Dune books with the internet.
Amazing.
Wow.
I've been, and on Twitch, on the weekends, I watch movies with people, and we have a really good time with Mystery Danica Theater. And I still make content for YouTube, although it has changed a bit since I used to have Robot on the show. And
Of course.
he got depowered and thrown into the trash can. So
Oh.
now we just have a troll and my cat. And but they're wonderful. And so yeah, we still make videos online on YouTube here and there. But now I'm editing and shooting and lighting, and I had to learn how to do all that. That was a lot of stuff, but I figured it out.
Yeah.
And I actually just today put out more of a vlog format, but I did 2001 Explained in 2001 seconds.
Oh, that's cool.
I love
that's
2001. It's like my favorite movie. And so I was just like, and I know a lot of people struggle with it. And I was like, hey, this is something that I'd love to talk about. And I just saw it at the Hollywood Bowl
Oh, wow.
live
With music?
the
live
yes,
music?
with
Oh, wow.
the,
So rad.
the orchestra and like a choir of like 100 people. And it was so
What's like the
cool.
last, because the last like 20 minutes of that movie is just all
Yeah.
that crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine what the sheet music looks like for that.
Bonkers.
Like, how do you write music with that? Like, I don't know. How do you get like 100 people in orchestra to do that? I'm not sure. But
What
they
happens
did
when one
it.
person doesn't get it? You're like,
Yeah.
Andy's just not getting it.
You know,
Well, it's fine
he's
though,
not the
because
one
you
of
just
the
go,
script.
He's
and
when we're
nobody
supposed
knows.
to.
But it was so beautiful. It was such a magical experience to see it in outside and with the live music.
That's really cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
we talked a while back, but I think Greg saw
Yeah.
Ghostbusters
Yeah,
live.
the SF Symphony.
Cool.
SF Symphony does it,
Hell
but
yeah.
and I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark, which was incredible. But I would love, seeing it outside, because I think they do a John Williams, or they used to do John Williams like
yes.
live at the Hollywood Bowl. That would be incredible to see as well.
Yes. Yeah.
But
Give me that, but with Interstellar.
with seeing the movie with Interstellar.
Man,
Yeah, with, like,
Interstellar
the music.
soundtrack is like so good.
It's so good.
It's so good. And it's
Yeah.
so funny that you bring up Interstellar because Interstellar is Nolan's 2001.
Oh yeah.
And originally, like Stanley Kubrick wanted them to go to Saturn, but at the time they were all practical effects, so they couldn't
They
he
couldn't get to
couldn't
Saturn.
make Saturn's rings look good.
Right.
They just they did not pass Stanley Kubrick's inspection.
Yeah.
And so they ended up going to Jupiter instead.
A little easier.
So it's
Just
really
round.
interesting with Christopher Nolan's Interstellar is like he did Saturn and he has that shot of Saturn that's like, oh, like I remember seeing in IMAX. And I was
Tiny
like,
little ship just in front of it.
oh, I was so blown away. And I think it was during my Saturn Returns or something like astrologically. And I was just like, oh, there it is. You know, it was very magical.
We saw that in IMAX as well. I think we saw it as a company, right? Or maybe not. I don't think maybe we weren't doing all. But it was. I just remember it was so loud,
So loud.
so loud, and so good.
I was like,
so
that was a
good.
good impression.
Thank you. Thank you. See, I don't get enough credit for
That
mine.
was a great impression, Greg.
All right. All right.
Great impression.
If you had to rank the people in this office that do impression,
Greg too.
Greg number 2.
Don't forget, and then it would be Blessing 3 with his Obama.
Yeah, Blessing does a good Obama. He also does Michael Cera.
It's true.
I'm thinking Snow White Mike at number 4. He does
But
a
have
great.
we
He does a great
confirmed that it's
Chewbacca.
Michael Cera? Because one time I was like, I think it's your Mindy Kaling, and he's like, no, it's not. Maybe it is Mindy Kaling that I'm doing.
Multifaceted impressionist.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's so good at impressions that his Michael Cera sounds like Mindy Kaling.
Yeah.
That's pretty. Insane. That's pretty
Yeah.
incredible.
I mean, maybe really Mindy and Michael should look into their own differences. You know what I mean?
I think maybe
Blessing's
they both
holding a
stole each
mirror
other's
up to
lines.
them, and neither of them want to look into it. It seems like. Or
Wow.
listen to it. I guess.
It would take a while before I got to Nick on the impressionist
You
ranking.
think Tim's better than me? You think Tim's better
He
than me?
does a good James Burke.
Tim's been doing the impression of a non-robot for a really long time. Just a human being.
It was one of
It was
those.
almost there. I was like, I don't want to be mean to him. He's not here today. It's his day
No,
off.
that's what made
And
me
I
more
just
emotional.
shifted
I was
the
But
vibe.
you
waiting
still
for it. You know what I
doubled
mean?
down.
I
You s-
know.
Here's what I want you to do, Nick. Don't get in your head about it. You get in your head, and that's when I see you. The plates fall down. You're
Mm-hmm.
spinning them. You're doing a great job, but you get out there. But this is podcasting, all right? This isn't
God
stand-up
damn
comedy
it.
where you work the material out.
God
Right.
damn it.
You throw down
Roger laughing.
Yeah, and Roger laughs
laughed?
when it's true.
He laughed at that moment where I know that he's
He's
not
like-
laughing with me.
He's like, you
Yeah,
failed.
yeah.
He saw it. He did the look to Joey, and then they both laughed at me just now.
It's happening more and more. Is what I'm is what I've been.
Yeah, because you know
noticing.
why? Because Roger is coming more and more out of his shell, and he's getting dangerous now. we have to
You
put
have
him
to
down.
yeah, but you got to take them out.
I apologize. You're giving me some pearls of wisdom.
First off, you're shaking. Look at this. Look at how much you're shaking the coffee over
I'm
here.
squeezing it.
This is like yesterday. I'm playing a video game. Well, I can say Spider-Man. I'm playing the Spider-Man thing.
Yeah.
And there was
You
a
like-
moment where I needed to be precise, and I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. And then Cole came over and
Yeah,
slammed
that's
his-
what he's there
I'm
for.
like, dog, you have not earned that right to screw up a PlayStation exclusive for me. You know what I
Yes.
mean? You know what happened?
Shit.
We got a new Cole.
wow. Because I'm like, I thought Cole was like a dark brown. This is blonde. Long hair.
I was gonna bring up Cole because, Danika, if you know Greg's, Portillo was very important to Greg
Yes.
when you're dogging.
She met him. She was-
Portillo has passed,
7
right?
years ago. She was at the spare bedroom.
And
And
Cole.
he died. Thanks for sending a card. You know?
It was a tough time.
I read the book though.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
read the book.
Good.
And now Cole is the new wiener dog, but like Nick, you and I pretend Greg's not here.
Sure. Fair enough.
What's up with this Cole guy? Like, it's just I didn't even know that. I forget this dog exists.
Mhm.
I feel like Cole doesn't get enough spotlight. I'm seeing a lot of images of the beautiful little, baby boy Ben, but like
Yeah, here's the
maybe
problem.
throw Cole in there as well.
That's what I was going to say, right? The problem is Ben. Okay.
Sure.
Too cute.
100%.
Now he's
100%.
starting to like walk around and stuff. He's got
Oh,
little
yes.
squeaky shoes.
He's like saying stuff.
Mhm.
He's saying things.
Yeah.
He recognizes me just slightly more than Roger, which
Slightly
is
more.
really cool. And like, it's unfortunate, right? He's just an adorable child.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, Cole is always going to be second fiddle to that, I feel. Unless Cole does something like amazing. Like
Cole
learn
is
how to
like the
speak.
middle child, like getting middle child treatment. I just feel like Cole doesn't get enough.
Which one was the middle Brady child girl? Jan?
Jan.
That
Jan.
sucked.
I thought she was pretty cool. You know? The
Name
boy,
one.
that's-
Name
She's
one
just trying
important
to
thing
hold her
Jan
own,
did for
man.
this world.
Remember? Oh, well, the
She's
world.
just trying to keep her head above water.
Yeah,
Yeah,
remember when
exactly.
she wore the wig for a while. She didn't want to be blonde anymore. She wore that curly black wig.
Yeah, that was a fail.
Well, she's trying to set herself apart because she's
The middle kid.
struggling.
Is it weird that I really like the Brady Bunch movie
No, they're
without
hilarious.
ever having really seen the show?
No.
No,
Right.
it's perfect.
It was like
Perfect.
one of those
Right.
shows that I always watched as a kid, or a movie that I watched as a kid that I don't know how I got into it as much as I
Yeah.
did.
You know why you love it? And correct me if I'm wrong, but the dad is the guy from Office Space and
Yes.
Ricky Bobby, and that's
Yes.
why he's so good.
He's so good.
Pineapple Express.
Yeah, Pineapple Express. That guy's great.
Well, good news
Yeah.
for you is you get to hang out with Cole this weekend when you come to Ben's birthday party.
I do.
Unlike Snowbike Mike,
you
Blessing,
pull up the RSVP list.
Kevin, and Paula. You know,
Really embarrassing
really embarrassing.
that many people are
I
declining.
thought it'd be boring. I just want to be open.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like fun.
You could be
2-year-old's
the bounce house. You
birthday.
could be in the bounce.
I
house.
didn't get invited to the first-year-old birthday, so
Nobody did. Remember, it was the COVID times.
Hey,
I
that's
couldn't get
not
sick
true.
for the-
That's not true.
Yeah, it
you want to
is.
lie in front of all these
That's
kids? That's
not
fine.
true.
I was there.
That's fine.
You know, if I'm lying, I'm dying, audience.
there.
All right.
Uh-huh.
In the same way, Cody Hagler's a goat boy. All right. We couldn't get sick for the spare bedroom.
I think he claps when he wants to applaud for something.
He stomps on the ground. Clump, clump, clump. You know what I mean? Really annoying to go to the theater with him. Horrible about it.
I'm really shocked. So Mike didn't agree to this because Lord knows he's always just trying to do stuff.
Now, see, don't get me wrong. Blessing, Paula, dead to me. Kevin, you're still cool. No, Mike's
Fuck about
RSVP was very sincere of, I'm trying to be better about not overcommitting. So I'm saying no, but maybe. But I'm saying no.
That's good. That's growth.
No. This is when he's trying to be better.
No, hold on. That is not being better. That's exactly what he always does. Of like, hey, I'm probably like I'm gonna probably come.
Do you
I'm probably gonna come.
understand the treats we have at this thing? The gift bags we have at the thing? I need a head count.
Ooh, what's in the gift bag?
Little Thomas the Tank Engine. Thomas the
Oh, that's so cute.
Can you bring
They
me?
got
Oh, wait,
whistles, they got hats, they got bandanas. We're all
How
set.
many? I mean, how many little kids? Are there little kids?
There's gonna be little
coming?
kids there. Yeah, there's gonna be
Is there a basketball court?
A lot, actually, that you just take them.
tennis.
Yeah.
You can just take a kid. That's,
Yeah,
what
that's
the
like
also
part
gonna
of
be
the
in gift
bag.
I mean, I
Yeah.
have one of those. Like he's got a play school basketball hoop at the house. We can
Okay.
bring that down for you if you want.
I would love that.
Because then
I
you can
mean,
just slam on him all day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just really-
Absolutely will.
Really get his defense up.
Remember though that at some point, probably the next 3 years, that kid's gonna be taller
Taller
than
than
both
you.
you and me.
Yeah.
So
I mean, 2.5 maybe.
yeah,
Max.
It's
years.
coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
I feel that wind to blow.
The next few years, though, like he's in like the chibi proportions,
Yeah.
and like that's the cutest.
100%.
They're like look like a little living anime
It
chibi.
truly is. Yeah, yeah.
Because they're only like
Watching 'em get on
3-4
chairs is
heads
adorable.
high. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Have you ever done the thing where you pick him up by his overalls and hold him up and pretend like you're the
Kindergarten Cop.
Terminator? No, it's because they Terminator. Isn't that Terminator? Or is that Kindergarten Cop?
Kindergarten
Remember
Cop.
when they're out in the desert and he grabs a little baby? He's like,
Oh, he does do it there, right? Yeah.
maybe he did it in all of them. You know,
No,
Kindergarten
maybe.
Cop. He picks
Does
up the
it in
kid. He goes,
every
"You've been eating people's lunches. Stop it!" And the kid just spits out the fucking shit. And then he just drops the kid.
him. Yeah.
It's the funniest part of the whole movie.
Damn, you're right. No, I definitely. I thought there was one where he picked him up and like smelled his diaper. You're right. No, that is Terminator 2. You're right.
Yeah.
Danica,
Yes.
I've known you a long time through the internet.
Mm-hmm.
A question I've never asked you
Yeah.
is, do you know everything about everything,
Mhm.
or do you just get hyper fixated on things? Because you just dropped all this 2000, and you just talked about the 2001 Space Odyssey thing, but then you're like, oh, and Kubrick did this and that, and then
Right.
Interstellar, and like you're just off to the races, and you love you in our world rose to fame for Comic Book Girl 19, and you were talking about comic books and this, that, and the other, and then
Yes.
it went into film and it does all these things, but then you're reading Dune now and you're doing this thing, like everything and everything, or just like some things really awesomely.
You know, I know a little bit about a lot of things.
Okay.
Mhm.
I would
Yeah, that's
say.
fair.
That makes sense.
I'm a student of life,
Okay.
Mhm.
always learning,
Sure.
always trying to find stuff. But I do get hyper fixated on certain things. Like
Yeah.
Stanley Kubrick in 2001 is one of those things that I got hyper fixated on. Same with like 2000, or same with like X-Men,
Sure.
Dune.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I mean, I also just put out a Dune Wave album.
What is that?
Like synthwave.
It kind of, yeah. It's okay. So and this is the second one. We had an EP like a few years ago, but this started when I was doing the Dune Club book clubs, and I went through all 6 Dune books, and I grabbed like all of my favorite quotes, and then I arranged them into songs, like put them together. They're like, these are the different quotes about the law, and these are different quotes about government, and these are different quotes about discipline, and then I put them together into a song, and then I spoke with my Bene Gesserit voice
Yeah.
into the micro. I spoke the words, and then Akira the Don, who's the master of meaning wave, he turned them into bops, and we have
Okay.
like a whole. You can buy a CD or a cassette. It's pretty exciting, and that just like dropped last month. which was just a day ago.
Where do
2
you
days
find the
ago.
time?
I don't know.
It's that thing where it's like, God damn, man! Like I've always known you to be so creative.
Yes.
You're always doing. I mean, we haven't even. You launched a Kickstarter today for an Akira documentary.
Yes, I
want to
did
talk
that
about
too.
that. We will get to that. But I mean, you're talking about, oh, and I just did this album and I just did this thing and blah blah blah. Like, what is your creative process like then? Is it just do you have a notebook filled with ideas that you're just going through?
I do have a big list of things that like projects that I'm working on, and then I also have lists of like things that I want to do.
Yeah.
Like I'd love to do like 2001 woman show and just act out 2001 by myself
That's
for people.
insane. I love it.
That's crazy, but that's like in the
I feel like if you
future.
did that right, you can do the whole movie in about 15
Yeah,
minutes.
totally though. Like I
Real.
would want
'Cause
to
the
make
first
maybe
scene
like
is just
30 or something.
Fair,
you know?
yeah. Because the first scene's like them floating in space or the pen floating
Well, no, you
for like a solid
well,
15
you've got
minutes.
like the monkeys, so you got to do a whole monkey thing.
Oh, right. You got to do the
Gotta
monkey
start
to throw up the
there,
thing and then,
yeah,
that's a good call.
Nick, you just missed Greg say, I should do that for the Santa Claus.
One-man show, reenact the whole movie.
yeah, dude, it'd be so
Yeah.
much fun, right?
Yeah,
like
that
I
would be
think
good.
more of us
We should do a
should
double
start-
feature.
Yes, yes.
Great. Christmas
totally.
is coming up.
I know.
Yeah.
How often do you abandon projects? How often do you have shit where you're like,
Okay.
we'll never have the time for that?
Oh, that's a. There's a few projects that just I feel like I generally finish them, but it may take like years. Like it may take like 5 years to finish a project, but eventually I'll get there. Like my Laura Palmer paper dolls. I'm still working on my Laura Palmer paper dolls from Twin
course.
Peaks, and I'm like, I got really hyper fixated on Twin Peaks,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I was like, I want to draw all these paper dolls, and I did, and they're all drawn. I just have to like color them and like put them in a book and sell them to people, I guess, for fun.
So I guess the question just backing up from there is why a Laura Palmer paper doll? You just hit
Why
that.
not?
That just idea pops in and you're like,
Yeah.
this is it. This is what I'm doing for a
Well,
while.
so I loved a lot of her different looks. She has so many different looks, and
Okay.
it's so dark too. And it's like I have her wrapped in plastic, like dead body mermaid outfit, and then the red room outfit when she's dead in the lodge. But then I also have her like slutty going to the bar outfit, and then they talk about her being at One Eye Jack's, like being one of the girls at One Eye Jack's, and those girls have these really intense like casino lingerie fits, but you never see what hers looks like. So I got to design it myself, and I was like, what would Laura Palmer's One Eye Jack's
Very cool.
costume look like?
Nice.
Because I love clothes.
Would Twin Peaks scare me?
Yeah.
Really?
No.
It'll weird you out,
It'll weed you out. Yeah, it's off-putting.
Okay.
but it's funny too. It's got funny moments as well. It's like dark, weird comedy, but also, yeah.
Because I've never known what the vibe was. I've just always known that Twin Peaks has one of like the largest cult followings, and it is so influential to so many directors and writers out there. But anytime I see imagery for it, I'm like, oh, I bet you I'd get scared. Like it feels like
This is a good time to start watching it in the fall, though. This would be like a good time
Really?
to watch it. Yeah.
Twin Peaks in review.
I was thinking like HBO The Outsider. Like, you know what I mean?
Like,
Like,
scare you?
well, I mean,
It's
that's some
not,
spooky
it's not
moments.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
that level. Like, I don't think, right?
Okay.
It's been years since I've seen an episode of Twin Peaks, but I don't remember it being like
No, it's
as
not.
scary as The Outsider.
Although I will say the movie, the Fire Walk with Me movie's got some really intense moments that are like, ugh, but they're more like traumatizing. I wouldn't say that.
Badass name for a movie.
I know, Fire
Walk with
I
Me.
know.
That's pretty sick.
It's sick.
It's pretty dope.
Andy, I've always wanted to watch Twin Peaks. Let me know if you get started. Maybe we both
Yeah,
watch
you
together.
guys should.
When are you gonna watch
Everyone
True
come over.
Detective? And
Okay, all right. Well,
Oh,
I took
True
it. I
Detective's
took it.
so good.
Maybe
I
he's gonna
took it to
start. He'll probably
Greece,
start
we just
watching when
didn't
he
get
doesn't
there.
come to my son's birthday.
oh wow, that's a yeah.
You better start
That's
watching this.
Again, that's okay for you, Kevin. But if Paula watches it too, I got a problem.
Can you bring me a gift bag, by the way?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Anything for you, big dog. Don't worry about it.
True Detective season 4 with
Jodie
Jodie
Foster
Foster.
season
Trailer
coming up?
dropped.
Oh,
Yeah, they dropped the trailer for. I think it's coming January 24th,
I'm excited.
which is very very.
You know,
exciting.
I'm excited about that for a couple reasons. One, that series is incredible, and obviously it's going to be different than anything that came before because it's kind of, every year is different. And two, HBO Max just feels like they're driving all their original content down. So this might be the last great show that HBO releases before the apocalypse.
I mean, I think we're already in the. I mean,
Are we
we're in
AI?
it.
Are we AI right now? You tell me if I was AI, right?
Of course.
Cool.
I mean, they're gonna do more. I didn't watch the Game of Thrones spin-off or whatever, but it had pretty good ratings and people enjoyed it.
All I know is
I assume they're gonna do.
Right.
They're gonna try to put more budget into more originals like that, but nothing to the level that we've seen. That we
I don't
saw
know
in the past.
because they canceled Winning Time. I don't know if they're going to do like a lot of those big,
yeah.
super high budget prestige shows anymore. It just seems sad.
That really bums
You
me
don't
out.
think so? What is that?
I don't know. I'm just.
They're losing so
I'm
much money, and then
Yeah, it was
streaming's trash fire.
What's that?
Why? Because streaming's not doing so well.
Oh, just
And-
because I just don't know what's going on with HBO and like Warner and Zaslav and all those people.
I don't think they know
like-
what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, it's
I don't
just
think
kind of
anybody
up
knows
in
what's
the
going
air.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well, of course, we got James Gunn, so everything will be okay.
I mean, I
I'm
actually
sure all those movies. We'll see all those movies, right?
did you see
Oh,
that?
my
With
God.
he just confirmed that
Peacemaker season.
yeah,
2.
Peacemaker's coming back. Blue Beetle's coming back.
I
The
mean,
actors?
Originally, that was the whole thing. Remember, of like, it's not a DCU movie, but he could be in the DCU.
Yeah.
That actor and that guy. So that's confirmed now?
I mean, that's what I saw on an IGN post, but they're also, I don't know.
IGN a bunch of hacks. We know that
That
well.
they lie all the time.
Exactly.
We know this. We used to work
Exactly.
there. They paid us to lie.
All the
On a
time.
consistent
Liars.
basis.
Exactly.
Greg's never even played a PlayStation.
Never touched Uncharted 3. Looked at screenshots and gave it a review. You know?
Nolan who?
Yeah, exactly.
Danika, where are you at right now with the state of comic book movies?
A great question. I am kind of a downer about it. I'm like burned out. I feel like over it. I feel like we did it.
Mhm.
Like end game, like was
Right.
the end game. Like it's like I'm good. We did it.
Yeah.
We did it, guys. And I feel like it's kind of been really downhill since then. And there's been like a couple of I really like the WandaVision show,
Of course.
but then they came back with and not to say that I totally disliked the Sam Raimi Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah.
But it undid everything that the WandaVision show did.
Yeah. Well,
and
he didn't
was
watch
kind
it,
of
so that
like-
was his choice.
yeah.
Interesting one.
Which I was like, I don't hate what's going on here, but like, you made her a villain in like 2 seconds, and I didn't
Yeah.
really like that because so yeah, I'm just like, I'm
Yeah.
kinda
I
over
keep
it.
talking about the Endgame hangover.
Yeah.
That was such a emotional buildup with a great
Yes.
payoff, and like everyone in the world cared about it, and so then to follow that up has been so tough, and then
Yeah, you
I don't
can't.
think it's been their best foot forward for any of these projects. really.
No. Well, and also too, I mean, you just see the quality, like the level of quality has really gone down, especially with
Oh,
the
yeah.
effects and I mean, even with the writing and everything else. And they're also it's very formulaic.
Yeah.
And it's like we've seen it, so
Third act,
like
fight
you
the
need to
mirror
figure
version of yourself. Yeah.
yeah, you need to either switch it up or do something. But at the same time, too, it's like you can't. I don't know. Nothing goes up forever. You know,
Right.
like everything. You know,
Yeah.
time is a flat circle. Like sometimes things go down, and like that's what this is. Where it's like, okay, we've done it. And I'm so mad about seeing that image of Wolverine and Deadpool, and they finally put Wolverine in the costume now, and it's like, now you're doing this.
Yeah.
Now, like it took how long? 20 years to get him in the fucking yellow costume.
Yeah.
And it looks great. And you were
Yeah.
telling me this whole you've been gaslighting me this whole time. That like,
There's no
oh,
way
it
it would
looks
work.
stupid.
No way it would look good.
Yeah,
You
we
look
can't
stupid.
possibly.
This would look terrible. X-Men's costumes are silly. And here we are. And it's like, wow, that looks fucking cool. Great.
Maybe it'll spur the next era
Yeah.
of comic book movies, because I think a lot of people are burned out on it as well. And I think the movies have always been somewhat formulaic, but when you're driving towards something bigger than the sum of its parts, that was acceptable. Now it just feels like, where are we going?
Where are we going?
Where are we going? We got in the
Where are we
car.
going?
We're in the car. Where are we
Yeah.
going? I
Yeah.
don't know what's happening right now.
I think the thing that I was enjoying, like for the last several movies and like entries to the MCU, it felt like they were getting really creative with like, all right, this will be our coming of age teen drama in the MCU. This will be our
Horror movie.
Raimi horror movie.
Yeah.
This will be and I felt like they were kind of taking all these different genres. Like I really enjoyed Loki, and it felt like that was like, let's do a weird kind of take on what Marvel can be like. I mean, the set design in that show was just like amazing, and I felt like
There's a lot of cool stuff in Loki.
I felt like this last several iterations they were like kind of bringing different approaches to it, and then I don't even remember what the last MCU, but like Moon Knight
Right.
didn't do it for me.
Oh, Moon Knight was terrible.
Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of people think we're all kind of crazy for how we felt about it. I enjoyed like maybe
well,
one and a
Who's
half
thought about Moon Knight
episodes.
since Moon Knight
What
happened?
one of the things for me personally too with the Marvel movies is they have these no fun Marvel mommies. Like every like strong female character is like no fun. Like they're not fun, they're not sexual, they're not like they're just like angry all the time.
You're
And
talking about like Carol Danvers and like Captain Marvel?
all of them. I mean,
Yeah.
like even like Lady Loki. It's like Lady Loki is supposed to be like fun and sexy and weird and like wants you to look at her titties. You know what I'm saying? Like she's gonna take advantage of you while you're looking. Like she's like, ugh. She's slippery like a snake. And then this lady Loki was like lame, and it didn't even look like Loki. I was like, that's the fun of their relationship, is that he's a narcissist.
Yeah, he falls in love with himself.
Fall in love with himself.
Yeah.
So why doesn't she look like him? And I guess it's because they don't want it to be masturbatory or whatever. I don't know. But again, it's like, who cares? It's just another version of him. I don't know.
Yeah.
Make it weird, Disney.
That's the thing.
But they're like, no, she's blonde and she doesn't look anything like him and she's no fun and stuffy.
That's been my, I think, biggest problem with recent MCU stuff, is that they are afraid to make it weird. And I feel like for a while there with a lot of for a while there with a couple movies in a row, I feel like we stepped up to the precipice of like, all right, this could be something really cool. Okay, if you line it up right, when Loki breaks the time thing, it lines up perfectly with the end of WandaVision.
Right.
So that means that when we get here, you got to multiverse and you got to all these different movies and stuff where it's like, this is going to be you felt ramifications. It's going to be, and it wasn't.
And it wasn't.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, this isn't connected to this? Like this multiverse thing is not connected to the Loki thing at all?
In
that
our
was
big,
really odd.
when we did a multiverse of madness, right? One of our things was that the trailer made it seem like we were going to go through a lot of multiverses.
Yeah.
Right?
We did, like,
Oh my God.
2 or 3,
Yeah.
right? It's like, well, two, and then
Two?
like one
We
movie.
had that. We
Yeah,
had
that one sequence.
One frame where we went through the
Right.
comic book one. It's like, why don't we stay there? Why don't we get nuts with it?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask Danika what she thought about
Yes.
the Kind of Funny official rankings. When we do our ranking MCU show,
Yes.
Andy, we're not proud of these though.
we're not, and that's why I think
Probably
it'll be
like the
good
top
content.
10.
Is that when we go through these rankings,
Okay.
at a point we'll get to a movie and everybody goes, all right, do we think that movie is better than rank
Yes.
number 38? And however many people raise their hands dictates where that kind of
Yes.
thing goes.
We also put the shows in as well, so it's
I
every
see
Marvel
that.
property.
Yes,
That's what makes
yes,
it
I
slightly
see that.
harder. Is then you then have to sort of recalibrate in your brain your metric for
Right,
what makes
right,
it
right,
good,
right, right.
Like obviously Loki, a standalone episode of Loki is not going to necessarily compare to something like the Avengers, but then you rank the whole season and kind of what it means overarchingly and like the accomplishment of doing that Disney Plus show. I just want go off the top 10 for us.
Yeah.
How do you
top
feel about the
10.
top 10 right now?
I feel like I think it's pretty solid, honestly.
If you're an audio
like
listener,
I feel like it's
number
pretty
1 is
solid.
Endgame, number 2 is Infinity War, number 3 is No Way Home, number 4 is Homecoming, number 5 is Civil War, number 6 is Ragnarok, number 7 is Winter Soldier, number 8 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, number 9 is Wakanda Forever, number 10 is Loki. The chat is asking, and I do think
I
that
may
this
switch
is,
the Avengers with Wakanda Forever, but I didn't see Wakanda Forever, so maybe
Really?
I'm being
Okay.
a jerk.
Well,
but-
hold on to that for 1 second. But the chat is pointing out that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is
Yeah,
not-
this list may have been. I may not have sent in the most recent.
yeah.
Where did-
So
Right.
Guardians 3 is not here on this list.
Where did we put
Okay.
that?
I think we put it real high.
That's Tim's problem.
I think we put it fairly
yeah,
high.
that's true. Everyone
Probably like 12 or 13 around there.
Yeah, but definitely like Winter Soldier, Civil War, like Endgame. Those are all like real bang, and Ragnarok.
When you look
Or
at this-
Ragnarok is so good.
Ragnarok's
look at
like my
this
rank one,
list-
even though I don't
Yeah,
think it's like
it's-
the best. It's my favorite.
It's so good. It's really fun and cute. I like it a lot. But I think that like Taika Waititi was a little overhyped. Like I feel like
I think he was hype, a perfect amount of hype going into Ragnarok, and then I think the overhype
right, and then-
happened right
and-
afterward.
Exactly.
By the time you get to Thor: Love and Thunder, it's like,
Oh,
what
no.
what drug are we doing on this set
Oh,
right now? And
no.
is it something I've never heard of because I'm not wealthy enough to understand it? Like, what's going on here,
Yes,
Taika?
yes.
Yeah, that was a missed opportunity.
Well, he is actually supposedly maybe doing a Akira live action.
No one's
now?
gonna ever do an
I hope-
Akira live action.
I hope not.
And they
I hope
shouldn't do
not.
it.
No.
They should never
No.
do it.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because
Hold on, we're pivoting to Akira, of
Okay.
course. And you have a documentary you're kickstarting right now. You can
Yes.
find out about it at kindafunny.com/Akira. But before we transition to that, I want to remind you that this is the Kinda Funny podcast. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather around this table, coming to hang out with each other and talk about whatever it is they want to talk about. If you want to hang out with us, your best bet is to go to patreon.com/kindafunny, where of course you could be watching live as we record it, like the amazing Melissa Hagler and her goat boy husband, Cody.
Moo!
You can get the show ad-free, watch it live.
You
all the
too
other
could be
podcasts.
insulted live.
They love it,
every
except Bert
week.
and Meg, who never came back.
They call him the Trogs, for Christ's sake. And now they call themselves
Neither
the
here nor there. Of course,
Yes.
300 bonus episodes, exclusive merch only on patreon.com/kindafunny. However, if you no bucks toss our way, no big deal. YouTube.com/kindafunny. Podcast services around the globe each and every week for a brand spanking new episode. Remember, you can write in for free at kindafunny.com/KF podcast with your topics of conversation. Housekeeping for you. We have a brand new shirt up called Shoe for President. That's right. PlayStation needs a real leader now that there is a power vacuum, and we're backing the one, the only Shuhei Yoshida. For the next week, you can pick up your shirt at kindafunny.com/store. Nick, Kevin, and the team went above and beyond to do an amazing Dungeons and Dragons stream. It is up on youtube.com/kindafunny. We talked about it last week in the build up to it, and it was awesome.
So
You did
fun.
such a
It was
great job.
So fun to do.
Great job, Kevin. I haven't seen you or complimented you in person about it. Good job.
Thank you very much.
That's why you get a gift bag.
Oh.
Paula gets Cole. Not the dog Cole. Like, it doesn't matter.
We're very excited to add another dog to our family.
No! Thank you for our Patreon producers, James Hastings, Jedi Master Deadpool, Casey Andrew, and Nathan Lamoth. Today we're brought to you by Rocket Money, Shady Rays, and DoorDash. And hey, since you're not on patreon.com/kindafunny, here's a word from those sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by DoorDash. Did you burn your last piece of toast? Have the avocados gone bad? Is the hot sauce bottle empty? You could try grocery delivery from DoorDash. You'll get everything you want delivered when you need it right to your door. You've trusted DoorDash to deliver your restaurant favorites, and now you can get grocery delivery that actually delivers too. You already know how much all of us here at Kinda Funny love DoorDash, but with thousands of grocery stores to choose from, you'll find the best in your neighborhood and boost your local economy with each and every order. You'll get exactly what you ordered, or they'll make it right. You want even more value? You can save on all of your grocery and restaurant favorites with a $0 delivery fee on all eligible orders with a DashPass membership. With easy substitutes right in the app and best-in-class customer support, you can get 50% off your first DoorDash order up to a $20 value when you use code KINDA at checkout. That's 50% off up to $20, no minimum subtotal, and 0 delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code KINDA. Don't forget, that's code KINDA for 50% off your first order with DoorDash. This episode's brought to you by Shady Rays. Take on the sun with gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather ahead with premium polarized shades at an affordable price. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn. Durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. And that's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after you purchase. Every purchase supports the Shady Rays Impacts program, which works directly with nonprofits and their communities to empower and make adventure accessible for all walks of life. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. You can go to shadyrays.com and use code KINDAFUNNY for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. You can try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Again, that's shadyrays.com. Use the code KINDAFUNNY. This episode is brought to you by Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions. It monitors your spending and it helps you lower your bills all in one place. And it has surprised multiple of my friends and people at Kinda Funny how many subscriptions they have that they forgot they are still paying for. That's why I'm such a big fan of Rocket Money. It's so easy to cancel the ones you don't want with just the press of a button. No more long hold times or annoying emails with customer service. Rocket Money does all the work for you. Rocket Money can even negotiate to lower your bills for you by up to 20%. All you have to do is take a picture of your bills and Rocket Money will take care of the rest. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and manage your money the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/kindafunny. That's rocketmoney.com/kindafunny. One more time, rocketmoney.com/kindafunny.
All right. We're back. And I've been excited for this for a while.
Sure.
Danika,
Yes.
you are making Akira the Documentary.
Yes.
This is a Kickstarter you can go to right now.
Yes.
It has been up just today.
Yes.
You asked for $10,000. You currently have more than $21,000.
Yes, we've hit our first stretch goal and our initial funding.
I need to talk to you when we're done with this part about your audience because they remind me so much of our audience of just being the
Yes.
most supportive humans out there, and I love that.
Oh, such a bunch of sweet cinnamon rolls.
But we'll get to that eventually.
Mhm.
For now, Nick, I know you love Akira.
Yes, as do many people, I'm sure, who are watching this.
Take 2. Please. Oh, there's my video. There's my video.
Yeah, wow, the video's happening. Oh my God. Let's start with you, Nick Scarpino, to transition to this. Why do you love Akira? Because as long as
Sure.
I've known you, you've loved Akira.
It's one of those things when you first discover anime, and which I did, I believe, in the mid-90s.
You discovered it.
I did. I'm actually
He's
credited
the one who brought it here.
to the
Yeah.
States.
Yes.
Yes. There's a lot of legal battles still happening. I'm not allowed to comment on that.
Uh-huh.
Harmony Gold can go fuck itself. I'm joking.
I have no idea who Harmony.
I have no idea.
Don't worry about it. It's a Robotech reference. Anyway, long story short,
I was too busy getting laid in high school. You know what I mean? I was
This guy.
Were you?
This fucking
No.
guy.
a lot of WWE.
I have a really good friend named Ryan who was one of the guys I've been friends with since junior high. We played role-playing games, video games, all this stuff together. And he was the first person to introduce anime to my life. And we would go on a
He's a good
hunt
bro.
for animated movies, like
Was that
Japanese
so much fun
animation.
because you couldn't get it back then? It
couldn't-
was so hard.
Yeah.
And I remember finding a source of like a cache of anime at a Sam Goody one time.
Oh wow.
But I didn't have
Oh,
it, but he had to
yeah.
buy him. I was like, I don't have $25.
Yeah.
I had to like beg my mom to buy a movie, and I think I ended up buying like Armitage 2 or something like that. And I pop it, and I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. He didn't know. There's no,
fuck
there's no
Right.
IGN.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
literally judging a book on its cover. But
What
one,
was that one Sam Goody likes that was like Coast something?
Coast to Coast.
Suncoast. I used to work
Suncoast.
there.
Video. No way.
I did.
I always wanted to work.
That was another
I was
place.
selling Netflix when it first came out to people and like explaining the concept back when it was like you got
Mail
a
the
disc.
discs.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But I remember back in the day, I used to go to the Video Wiz in the Canyon Crest Center, and Ryan lived close to that, so sometimes we meet up there. And they had a small, like maybe 4 or 5 movie section of anime.
Yeah.
The only title that like really stuck out was Akira, or Akira as we used to call it back then. We were just like Akira, didn't really understand it. And it's one of those moments of
Was it the motorcycle and him walking cover?
him walking back with the pill on his jacket,
Yeah.
the old school like white cover. I think that I think they did another. Well, there's multiple covers of it. Anyway, long story short, you pop it in, and right off the rip, that first shot of it just like quiet,
Yeah.
like the
that's
nuclear
good.
blast exploding Japan. I was like, oh, this is something different. And I remember distinctly thinking, this is not an animated movie. This is just a movie, a really, really fucking good movie that just happens to be animated. And this is back before we're not seeing Spider-Verse back in the early
course.
90s. So you're seeing something.
Had
I've
you already
literally-
watched something like The Matrix?
No, I mean, probably, I don't know what year. No,
The
I
Matrix
no.
was 99.
No. This would have been well before the Matrix.
Yeah, you're
This
right.
would have been 92, 93-ish, probably, around the time that I really kind of started being aware of it.
This is like after. So real Ghostbusters opened your eyes to what animation could do. and then you found this.
It's like opposite sides of the rainbow. You know what I mean? Like do's and don'ts of anime.
Oh,
But yeah, it's just it's very well respected and loved by a lot of people out there, and rightfully so, because it's a masterpiece. And I think it's probably the pinnacle of what that medium and it's better than most movies that I've watched.
I'm on the same boat where a coworker of my dad's was like, my dad would always talk about how much into drawing and art I was, and I was back in the day. I think I had only ever discovered anime through something like Toonami, and I was watching Dragon Ball Z and Gundam Wing, and my dad's coworker was younger at the time and knew that like, oh, your kid's into like this stuff. Oh man, you got to have him check out this movie named Akira, and he like lent us the VHS or whatever. And my dad was like, yeah, apparently this is like the best animated thing ever. So to me, as somebody who was like obsessed with animation and seeing the fucking motorcycle go with the light trails behind it, I was like, this is
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Or
dude.
even just the
is.
first battle, the first motorcycle like encounter with them and the clowns.
Yeah.
And you see it. I'll never forget that shot where he's like tapping the pipe on the ground as
And
he's riding. It's
sparks.
like, "Sa, sa,"
Yeah.
and they're
dude.
about to just and then that
Bashing
fucking
people's
moment
head-
where
oh, man.
I think it's Kaneda just runs, just bashes the dude's face in with a pipe, and I was like, oh, what is this?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're watching fucking gummy bears that day, thinking like this is what people over in Japan are growing
Yeah.
up on that shit, being like, we're hard,
Right.
man.
Well, it reminded me of like watching Spawn or something very maturely
Exactly.
animated
Yeah.
that I knew that like I shouldn't be watching this. I was maybe like 8, 9 years old at the time.
Well, it shatters your reality, right? It
Yeah.
shatters your reality of what the delineation lines are for these things. Kids in America watched cartoons. That was it.
Yes.
Parents didn't watch them. You went begrudgingly with your kid to go see The Little Mermaid or The Lion King or
Right.
something like that. Maybe you're like, oh, that was pretty good. And they had some adult themes. This is a damn movie that came on theaters in Japan and is wildly respected. It comes over to us, and it just
Like for adults.
it just broke my brain. I was like, wait, they made a cartoon for adults.
Mhm.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So it was very, very, very pivotal for me in just kind of opening my eyes to the greater, the bigger world at large.
Yeah.
But to answer your original question, there's no way to do it right.
Yeah. No. You
live
can't. It's
action
like,
character.
There's no
are
way
you
to
gonna
do it right.
repaint the Mona Lisa? Are you gonna resculpt the David? You know, like,
At
get out of
best-
here! Like, shut up.
At best, you're gonna get the live action remake of Death Note on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
That's like that would be like best case scenario.
Oh.
Worst, it's gonna get marred in all sorts of development hell and
Mm-hmm.
controversies and all these things, and I just don't think they're ever gonna be able to do it.
A lot of people, though, they say that the movie is different from the manga. In fact, the
Very much
movie
so.
came out before the manga series was even finished. So, I mean, it's
Scott
like
Pilgrim's
there's
this week.
so much more to draw from.
Mm-hmm.
But it wouldn't make a good movie because the manga series is way too long. So if you had to do something live action with it, you should do a show, because in the movie you have the big explosion at the end, and then that's kind of it. Whereas the manga, it keeps going, and it's like you see the aftermath of what happens, and like Japan's in ruins, and there's these different camps of people who are fighting one another for resources and just like trying to survive in this wasteland. And then like the American military starts coming in, and it's like a whole like
What a save.
other
Like
thing.
always.
And it's pretty cool. It's really cool.
I mean, that would be in a world where you could do whatever you wanted. I would love a series of movies like that, like we've seen with the MCU, but it'll just never happen.
yeah, and it's like I feel like
We're gonna run into Blade Runner territory where it's like
They're
we'll get one
gonna-
every 10 years and it doesn't do that well, and we go, damn it, we'll never
I
get
know,
another
yeah,
Blade
I know.
Runner.
It's like I just feel like I'm good with what we have. Like we have the manga series, which is fantastic, and then we have the movie, which is I feel like the greatest hand-drawn animated movie
100%.
of all time. Like it is the peak of 2D hand-drawn animation. It's something only the Japanese could have done. Like it's just so incredible what they did, and it holds up totally today. And I saw somebody in the chat talking about, "Oh, am I going to go get the 4K version of it?" Do it. Do it. It looks so good. Like I just got it and I popped it in and I was like, "Wow, this looks even better." Like it's just
So Danika, you're making this documentary.
yes.
Where does your obsession with Akira begin?
My obsession with Akira began with Sci-Fi Channel,
Yeah.
like most of us.
Yeah, yeah.
Because again, back in the day, you couldn't just watch whatever whenever you wanted. It was really hard to get your hands on these sorts of things. And I remember they were doing it's Akira. We're playing Akira tonight. This
It was
is
a big
huge.
deal.
This
Yeah,
is a
yeah,
big
yeah.
deal. And I was so excited to watch it. And I remember it was dinner time, and my mom was like, "Oh, Danika, come in here and eat food." And I just like ran in the kitchen. I was just like, and then like ran back out because I was just like, "I don't want to miss this. Like, it's Akira, Mom." And she's like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
I was gonna say, and this
And-
is when you were in Alabama.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is a world away.
This is a world away. This is a lifetime away.
Yeah.
This is a long time ago. And yeah, I was like, wow, this was so cool. And it's one of those things where, much like Dune, where it's just like you can just keep mining it. And like every time I revisit it, like every few years, I'll notice new things about it. And I'm like, oh, I get it a little bit more now. Like, and it's a wonderful film that just, like I said, gets better over time for me.
I'll never forget the first version I watched, and I don't think I might still have it on VHS, was the original French, Canadian, English dub.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it made no sense.
I haven't
So-
listened to the French Canadian dub.
It was like, I forget what.
Bad
had been-
Golly!
No. It was. They were all American actors.
Okay,
Like there's no
okay.
accent whatsoever. But for whatever reason, it had gone from Japan to like Montreal
Mm-hmm.
to get translated, and then come to America. And
Sure.
so I was watching this as a kid. I was like, this movie is so smart. I can't understand what's happening. And then they re-released it, I want to say on Blu-ray, and
Yeah.
redubbed it. And I was like, oh, it's a pretty straightforward sci-fi movie. You know, kids, they unlock special powers of kids. One of them can't control them, he explodes. Pretty straightforward. Like, but I just remember thinking like, there's a deeper meaning in this, because I considered this like
the thinking man's
the translation
film.
made no fucking sense.
Sure, yeah.
It was pretty
100%,
incredible.
100%.
Still a good movie. Real good. I just want to clarify for people in the chat that I wasn't talking shit about Blade Runner 2049. I was saying I wouldn't want. That movie wasn't as successful as it needed to be, so they're not going to do any more of them, was my point in saying that chance. It's a great film. I want them to do more, but they probably will never do that. Because now he's on to Dune,
Right.
Part 2.
Yeah.
Are you excited for that?
Eh.
No. What did you think of the first Dune?
Which first Dune?
Not the first Dune. The Denis
Not-
Villeneuve.
Timothy Chalamet.
Okay, the Diminy.
Like Timothée.
It is beautiful. I love the soundtrack. The Sandworm is amazing. there's a lot of great actors in it. I can't remember his name, but the guy who was Duke Leto is perfect. He's so handsome. Moon Knight guy.
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar
Yeah.
Isaac. Wow. Oof. And then Stilgar, Javier Bardem. Fantastic. Whoa. Perfect casting. As far as like Zendaya and Timothée Chalamet,
Not going for it.
no, it's
No.
not working, especially Zendaya. She's
Really?
a terrible Cheney. She's really bad. And she's just like, hey guys, what's up? And it's like, you're a Fremen. Like, why are you talking like normal, like you're in Euphoria or something? Like, this isn't, like, she's just not getting it. And I'm not, even though Rebecca Ferguson's a great actress, I don't like her portrayal of Lady Jessica because she's far
interesting.
too emotional. And Bene Gesserits, that's their whole deal, is they have emotional control. That's why these
They're like
women are to be
Vulcans.
feared. Like
Yeah.
they have it under. I'm not to say they don't have emotions, but they're able to, they cry, but
yeah.
they do it at the right moment and not just like they have control over themselves. So I don't really love her portrayal. So, and I think that too, I understand that this is a movie where they're putting a lot of money into it. They need asses in those seats. So I feel like they simplified it a lot, which you have to for mainstream audiences.
Yeah.
And I feel like they took a lot of the weird out of it. And that's what I love about Dune is the weird.
They
stuff.
did. I do think they lost a little bit from the book in translation to the movie, just because it was like, it felt a lot more plain
Yeah.
than I thought it was going to be
Yeah.
going into it.
Well, it should have been a show.
That would have been incredible.
It should be a show.
Yeah, I know, and they could have kept going with that for a while.
I mean,
but
it's so dense.
I
you can't really do it in a movie.
I like that it's 2 movies though. I like that they're actually just doing 2.
Yeah,
they're not
I mean,
pushing
that's
a
better.
trilogy. Yeah, they're just doing
Yes,
2, which is
well,
great.
no, he wants to do a trilogy. He wants to do Dune Messiah,
That's
though.
fine though, but like just do the first book.
But are they spoilers? Will they really burn out Timothée Chalamet's eyes and have him running around on screen with burned out eyes?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Maybe.
That I would show up for. I'd be like,
mean,
oh, you did it. That's
Wait, does that?
crazy."
Okay, I don't want to spoil too many things, but,
But Messiah is sad. Like, that's a sad book.
I never finished it.
Exactly. Most people don't because
Yeah.
they're like, oh, this is depressing. I
Well, the
don't
whole
like
series
this.
is wild, but I don't know.
I'll be there day one just for the IMAX because I love Denis Villeneuve as a director.
I mean, it's beautiful.
Can I tell you my wife, I'll catch her watching Dune every once in a while. She fucking loves it.
Really?
Wait, the new one?
Yeah, she just puts it on.
I love it.
It's like her comfort
You
food.
get
I was
it.
gonna say, it's
I was like,
her
I was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, so this is relaxing for you? She goes, yeah. I was like, even
I
the
can
war
see that.
stuff and like,
Yeah.
killing the whole
Peace
family
for
and
me.
that part where he's like
Yeah, yeah.
paralyzed and like
It's fine.
naked and the big guy with the thing. She's like, yeah, this is great. I like it a lot. Beautiful director, beautiful cinematography.
It is
I was
beautiful.
like, you're not wrong.
How do you guys feel about the Lynch version of Dune? Because a lot of people have strong.
I have
feelings
not
about
watched the
it.
Lynch version of Dune.
I've only seen it once. And I tried watching it again before the newest one came out, and I couldn't get through it. It's so cheesy and so bad, but
Yeah.
it's not even. I love bad movies. I especially love bad movies from the 80s. But this one's just hard to get through. But I assume if you're doing it, well, have you seen Jodorowsky's Dune, that
I
documentary?
have, yes.
That I would have been in for.
Yes.
That I would have gone for.
Well, that
Like,
would.
this
I
is
mean, it wouldn't have been
bonkers.
Dune, but I would have loved it.
I'd have
I
loved
love
it. It'd have
Jodorowsky.
been a $300 million movie in 1978, but whatever.
There is a Jodorowsky connection to Akira.
In what way?
So apparently, Otomo was trying to finish the manga series. He was having a tough time, and Jodorowsky was in Japan for some reason, and these two linked up, and then they got like super drunk. And Otomo was like, "What should I do for the ending?" And Jodorowsky said something to him, and he doesn't remember what. But Otomo was like, "Okay, yes, that's it."
That's it?
And then went with it, and then
Oh, that's awesome.
apparently
What the
Jodorowsky helped like Otomo figure out the ending of the Akira manga series.
That's awesome.
I love how like there's all these like
bet shit.
crossovers with like my favorite dudes.
Right? And that's
I'm
why
just
it's like, do you know everything or
"Ah!"
just everything you talk about you've just done so much with? Yeah.
Well, that's why I think your brain works like mine. That's what I loved about that documentary for his original Dune was we're seeing all those people he put together as a creative team go on to do all that wonderful work
Yeah.
and steal a lot of the
And
a lot of
then
the
Ridley
designs.
Scott just came in and
Just scooped them all up for
and
Alien.
made Alien.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, Alien would not be here if it weren't for Jodorowsky's Dune.
100%.
So
Falling
I don't.
apart.
Talk to me about Jodorowsky's Dune. I'm not familiar with this.
So Alejandro Jodorowsky is a weirdo, surrealist filmmaker, crazy man, awesome artist dude. And he was making these really bizarro films, and he got the rights to Dune and was going to make a Dune that he had cast Salvador Dali as the Emperor.
Okay.
Mick Jagger was supposed to be
Okay.
Fade. His own son was supposed to be Paul, who he was like having trained like with martial arts like for years in advance to like do this role.
Awesome.
I mean, there's and there's a lot of other. I don't know if you remember some of the other. Oh yeah, Orson Welles was supposed to be the Baron.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy, and he got H.R. Giger, who no one knew at the time, and he brought him on to do some design work for the film.
Okay.
And Chris Foss and
Dan O'Bannon, I wanna say,
Mobius,
was it?
Dan
Mobius.
O'Bannon.
Yeah, Mobius was a big one.
Yeah, and he had all these guys come in, and then he almost had all the funding, and he only needed like $4 million or $5 million.
So they
to
thought.
finish.
But when you see it, there's people in the documentary who are like, this would have cost in like, I forget, it was in the 70s, right?
yeah.
They were like, this would have cost like $100 million.
Yeah.
And it would have
was-
bankrupted any studio that funded.
Yeah.
It just never was going to happen.
And yeah, he just could not secure that last bit, so the whole thing fell apart. And all those people that were working on it, Ridley Scott scooped up, and they all ended up working on Alien, and that's where
Gotcha.
they found H.R. Giger.
Right. And so you see
Gotcha.
there are drawings that he did for like some of the buildings and things for Dune that had that like a 1-to-1 translation with
Like that.
like Alien.
Yeah.
Like all that stuff. And so and like Mobius, a lot of the ship designs and things like that. You look and it's the ship of not the Nostromo. Maybe it was the Nostromo. What was the first ship?
Yeah, from Alien.
Yeah, so it's like some of the smaller drop ships and stuff. A lot of that just kind of came from there.
That's awesome.
It was really cool. Yeah.
That's really
Well,
cool.
even too, I think Mobius paired up with Dan O'Bannon, and they did that comic. I think it's called The Airtight Garage. I could be wrong on that, but it was like Blade Runner. You know, it was
Yeah.
like Blade Runner, and then like
And then
Ridley
later it
Scott was
becomes
like,
Blade Runner.
what?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's
that too.
I'm so absolutely fascinated by like lineage in film. By like Andy and I came up together, went to art school or whatever, and then you work together, boom, 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 and then it's all these people who work together over the years. Because when you're young, especially in the 80s and 90s, we didn't have IMDb, so you're like, oh, whatever. You didn't put together that these teams of collaborators
Sure.
worked together over and over and over again and grew their craft together.
Yeah.
And it's so cool to go back and watch that documentary and be like, that makes a lot of sense. Or even composers.
Yeah.
Where you're like, that movie sounds a lot like this movie. And you're like, wait a minute. And you look it up and you're like, it's Horner,
DXX.
right?
Yeah.
It's this person. But it's just cool to see like you'll see a director go, I love that sound or I love that look or I love this thing. And they go, why don't I just hire the person that did that
Yeah.
and bring
Yes.
them in? And that's the whole beauty of like film specifically is that you can just do that. You can just get the guy that shot Blade Runner to come shoot Dune. Why not?
What's the title of this documentary?
Jodorowsky's Dune.
Jodorowsky's
Jodorowsky's Dune, yeah.
Starts with a
think
J.
it's on
I was
Amazon.
Googling it right now.
Okay.
Amazon or Netflix?
I
It's-
have it on Blu-ray.
It's bonkers.
Oh,
And it's
I'm
very,
a
very,
physical
very
media
good.
lady.
Money
You're
bags
smart,
over.
smart.
Well, like my whole thing is like, okay, so everything I want to watch is not always on streaming.
Sure.
And so I get mad if I want to watch it and it's not there. Or sometimes you're watching stuff that's streaming and it sucks.
Quality.
It sucks.
The quality is
Yep.
crappy and it's buffering. And with a disc, I don't have to worry about that.
Sure, that's fair.
Whenever it
Whatever I
does,
want.
whenever that moment does happen to me, I feel like it's a personal insult to me when I find out like, what, this isn't streaming. What the fuck are they trying to like? How dare they? Like,
How
and I always like,
dare
why am I
they?
so offended by the fact that this isn't streaming? I shouldn't be expecting that from everything.
Yeah, you should. But I feel like you should expect everything to be available at somewhere. I got 9,000 services. I'm subscribed to a million
I
different
know.
things.
You'd think.
And
You
but
would
then it's the
think.
most annoying thing of then trying to figure it out where I go to Decider and I have to
Yeah.
or we watch a preview on Amazon and I'm like, wait, it's included. Oh, I have this fucking
No,
app.
and
Close the other app, go to that app.
So annoying.
But there are occasionally, it's always like the guilty pleasure movies, or like the cult classics. That
Sure.
You're like, I really want to watch this. And
No,
you're like,
it's nowhere.
It's
It's
nowhere.
nowhere.
Well, that was the shocking thing for me when we did Kevin Smith in review as a big Kevin Smith head,
Mm-hmm.
and that I have
Good luck finding Dogma.
exactly.
Anywhere.
I didn't realize I had totally
Yeah.
missed the Dogma at that point. Was like impossible to find
Yeah.
anywhere streaming. Still is, I guess. But like I had my
Yeah.
DVD still that I watched.
But there's a couple cult classic, like really terrible movies from the 80s from comics that I'm like, I love that movie. It used to be on TV all the time. And then you realize it was on TV all the time because it was so cheap
Yeah.
to syndicate.
They got to put
But
something. on
and
TV.
nobody
Yeah.
gave a fuck about it back then. So like you go to find them, you're like, oh, I can't find that at all. It's just like every site is just like, no. It doesn't even
Yeah.
say like coming soon or whatever.
No, shit,
Add to your
never
block list. It's
happening.
like this
Just
shit ain't never
no.
coming back, bro. But it's interesting the crossover, just to bring it back to your Akira documentary of them trying for years to develop Dune, it passing along, and then
Yeah.
finally it failing, and then coming back to the same thing being kind of mirrored in the Akira sort of live action adaptation because it's passed hands a lot.
I feel like the
Yeah,
Akira
yeah.
thing is very similar to Cowboy Bebop, where we heard so much about
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves wanting to do it like 15 years
Yeah,
ago,
yeah,
and,
yeah.
rad.
Yeah,
and it just never happened. And I feel like
even.
I feel like we're gonna be treading this water for a while. Like,
Well, I don't know. I kind of hope so.
really?
I don't want to see a live action.
Oh no. Oh, but I can see what you're saying. But like, I feel like for the next however many years, we're gonna be hearing about a possible
Right.
Akira thing happening.
Well, it's been
Yeah,
2
and even though I don't ever think it ever will, I do think that we're going to be hearing about a new director that comes up, a new hotshot dude who
Right.
has love for the franchise and wants to do it. Like, I feel like we're going to constantly hear
There's
stories
all
about
these
it.
Don
but it'll never
Quixotes,
happen.
You know, tilting at this windmill, and I feel like I've definitely like for my first full length feature film, I've chosen a mountain to climb. When I'm like, why did I choose something like this to like do this? But I also feel at the same time like I feel like this is a perfect moment to talk about Akira, especially
great
with
moment.
like AI, like this burgeoning AI and all the CGI that we use and all the computer graphics and everything. And it's like, this is something that's almost entirely made by hand. And look at it. This is what humans can do with their hands. It's really cool. Like, it's really
Frame
neat.
by frame.
I still constantly,
Frame by frame.
like, every other day or so, I get that one Hayao Miyazaki clip where he's
God.
being shown AI and AI art, and it's being translated, and they're showing like, this is what this AI creature is doing, and like it's being told to, you know, it's learning, blah blah blah. And Hayao Miyazaki, you know, he's being translated. It says, I feel like this is an affront to mankind. This is an insult to mankind itself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, and they're like, well, we were just kind of like messing with tech, and he was like,
Get out of my
but you shouldn't be doing this. Like,
Yeah.
and it's and I love seeing it because I just want more and more people. Like, I feel like Twitter, or now X, has gone from, you know, NFTs, crypto is the future, to now everything's going to be AI, and you better be on board with it. And I just like, it's so annoying to see. Like, it's always the same people, by the way, who have gone from NFTs are the future,
right.
who now their Bored Ape NFTs are now worth zero negative dollars, who are now like, in a way, kind of cheering the death of artists being able to make money off of their own work, and like, haha, you guys are never gonna work ever.
People
And
hate artists. There's
it's
a lot of
so
hatred
odd.
for creative people.
It's so odd.
Yeah,
that there's a lot of people who feel that way.
Well, as the mainstream, y'all are weird.
you know.
You don't count yourself among
But like
the artists?
I think
You're the
about,
great artist?
there's this Dune quote that I think about a lot lately, and Frank Herbert said, "Once men turned their thinking over to machines in the hopes that this would set them free, but that only permitted other men with machines to enslave them." And I'm just like, AI, like this is happening right now.
It's such an I was talking to Roger about this.
Who we think's in AI?
I'm pretty sure his name. Cool AI, but an AI,
But not cooler than you. Like, you're the cooler Uncle AI.
Badass AI. Old school AI 1.0. Stronger but slower. He had an interesting mentality on it because obviously he does a lot of like Photoshop and stuff. And it's a huge topic right now, obviously, with the writer's strike finally ending and them going in. This is going to be a pivotal thing for the actors as well, with all the background actor things like that. But he was like, you know, Nick, I'm not scared of AI. He's like, I think we'll find a way to use it to benefit us. And he's like, it's just going to make my job a little bit easier.
Yeah.
But I still have to go do that. That's best case scenario. And I'm like, that's an interesting perspective. Why do you think that way? And he goes, well, I've never seen Terminator. So he didn't grow up
Fearing the machines.
in the world
ready
where
for Judgment Day.
Yeah, like fucking Terminator scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. James Cameron put the fear of fucking AI, like robot AI, into me. He's like, I never grew up with that. To me, it's just a tool that we need to figure out how to benefit us, and we'll work forward, similar to like digital acquisition of film, which is now a staple, or anything else. And then he showed me, he was like, here's the point. He had this background that we made for Love and Sex stuff. And he has this like beta Photoshop thing where he just highlighted the side, and he was like, it just went
Oh, sure,
autofill.
expands.
And it
Oh,
filled
yeah,
it.
yeah,
And I was like,
I was just playing with that the other day. I just updated my Photoshop, and I was like, oh.
I'm like, and then between that and how good, even just how good the rotoscope tool, the object select tool has gotten in Photoshop, I'm like, if this is what we have to look forward to, I don't mind that because it's taking obstacles out of my way to create.
Right.
shit that would take me 3 hours is now taking me
Cut
30
yourself
seconds.
out.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
And it
Oh,
does that thing
my
where like voom, and it goes out and gets
And you're like,
much. Yeah, like
why?
you stop
Right.
all the way back.
so if that's what we're looking forward to, I mean, it's like anything else, right? It's like any other technology. We have to find a way to make it work for
Well,
us and not destroy us.
Like you're saying, it is a tool, and you can use a tool to fix a car,
Mm-hmm.
or you can use it to beat someone to death with.
Sure.
So it just depends on how you use it.
Yeah, 100%. No, yeah.
But I think the fight's already happening. You know, I think this.
yeah.
I think these strikes are like ground zero for this fight, specifically in our country.
You know,
As I don't know what's going to happen in the other countries or the bigger markets like China or Europe, but I assume they'll have similar fights, and we'll try to figure out how that goes.
one thing that's interesting though about AI is like a lot of people focus on the artists' arguments against it. But as somebody who's right now in the middle of like doing contracts and negotiating things with investors and for the film, I used it to help me write an investor agreement, and I didn't have to consult a lawyer. And it's, I mean, not that you should still consult lawyers. You should, but
No.
you can at least have something to start with.
Sure, a boilerplate.
And like,
right, to jump off.
like if you need something and it's like a little thing, it's like, it's so much easier. So lawyers should really be worried. Like everyone should be worried. It's not just like artists that should be worried. It's like, there's a lot of people with jobs that
Oh,
like,
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
There
I'd
are.
love to see this AI try to do a podcast where they talk about video games and insert a national tragedy in the middle.
No
All
way.
right,
Yeah.
not
No
gonna-
way
my
they're gonna.
job's secure.
No way they have that improv.
Well, honestly, that's one of the. I'm sorry, Andy.
I was gonna say there's tons of like news articles and news outlets that are just using AI to write articles, and
yeah.
oftentimes inside the article, if you like fully read it and not just the headline, you're getting
wrong.
you're getting wrong information.
Oh yeah.
Because it's just not combing the
How
internet
is that
correctly
any
or
different than reading any of the mainstream news?
no, but it'll just have it'll say and the sky was red on that date. It's like no, that's not true. Like
Right.
it's having issues like that still, and it's
yes.
obviously very early on, and it's
Yeah.
I think incredibly impressive what it can do already, and that's why I'm really worried about it. Is like we've seen the way we look at CG and how CG looked in the early days, and how long it's taken to kind of get to the point where it's becoming really impressive, and then we look at how quickly AI has kind of gotten better, and that's the stuff that scares me, just because I'm kind of paranoid about everything.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
I was also the guy who was in art school wanting to work in game development and seeing this tool is going to make all of us obsolete, and that was 10 years ago now at this point. And
You're not in game development anymore.
you're right, I
Being
did quit game
obsolete.
development.
Well, one thing that I think is really interesting that people have brought up is that for someone to like replace an artist, like a client is replacing an artist with AI, right? Well, that would mean that they would have to know what they want and
Yeah.
be able to plug that in.
Clients?
And yeah,
Oh, they don't know that.
exactly.
They're never gonna
Exactly. They
know
don't know that. They don't know what they want. They have
Well,
no idea what they want.
Sorry, we misspoke. They think they know what they want.
Well, sometimes they do.
They go, "This is what we
sometimes.
want." You're like, "Oh, I think you really want this." They're like, "Yeah, that's it. I nailed it." You're like, "You sure did, client.
Right.
Thanks."
And-
It's true.
Yeah, and I do know somebody too who's an artist, Rake, REIQ, and he does like a lot of pinup stuff, and he'll use it as a base. Like he'll be like, give me a hot girl in a bikini on the beach, and then you have the thing, but it's not totally right. It's just like the article. It's like kind of
Six
there,
legs.
Mm-hmm.
but it's like a little weird. The hands
Yeah.
are a little weird, or this is a little weird, and so he'll go back in and just use it as a base and like fix it and make it look good and pour the sauce on it. And it's
Sure,
like,
sure,
oh
sure.
wow, that's like good for you to like up your productivity and be able to like get more things out, and you're still doing your thing.
What I'm excited for, because I do think we'll get a handle on it. I don't think it'll be the death of us. I don't think it'll be the
Yeah.
death of creativity. I'm excited, and stick with me on this,
Mhm.
for it to get to the level that it was in the movie Her. But I don't need it to
Yeah,
fall in love
yeah.
with me or,
Right.
jerk me off or whatever. I just want it to be that I say,
If it did,
hey,
kind
I don't want to, if I said that one, you know what I mean? Siri, I don't need her going off.
He,
But if I was
he
like,
doesn't
hey,
want it,
her. And then like she actually did the things and put it in the Google
Yeah.
account and totally understood and didn't instead write a text that then just sits and doesn't go anywhere.
Oh,
Fucking
right.
Send the text. Do
Yeah.
the thing. What are you up to?
Her is so good.
Yeah.
It's really good. I
Yeah.
was actually thinking about, I'm doing a body scan pretty soon for, there's a guy who's doing like a Nomon
Mm.
class about how to take a body scan and
Oh, okay.
turn it into like a usable
Oh, okay.
thing.
I thought you meant like a body scan for like medical purposes.
No, no,
They
no,
do
no,
those
no,
full
no.
body scans.
No,
are
no, no, like a full body scan of like
your toe's gonna fall
for
for
being-
art for a model.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
makes sense.
And I was thinking about like, oh, well, there's so much stuff of me online talking and speaking. So like if there were a bunch of AIs,
Oh yeah.
they could recreate my personality from using all of this, and then they could take this model and put me in there, and then I could have a little digital cyber immortal me
Live
running
forever.
around
It's Black
on the
Mirror.
internet.
But that's gonna happen, right?
That's
I mean,
what
it's
I'm
already
saying,
happening.
like,
People are
it
already like
is.
releasing videos of people that are kind of hard to tell if it's Greg talking or not because they can emulate your voice and
Yeah.
and your
Yeah.
video, and it's
I got tricked by the oh my god, what actor? By the Gary Busey one.
yeah, I did too.
Oh yeah,
Where
the
it's like I'm gonna butter sausage.
I
and
thought that was
I thought it
real.
was him.
yeah.
I thought it was real, and then it wasn't until later I started wondering like, where was that even from? Did he do an
Right.
interview recently where he's going,
Yeah.
why don't we talk about butter sausage? And it's like, where would this have even been? When would this interview have taken place? And then I found out it was just a dude with a deep fake doing a great impression. I was like, holy fuck, that's the first time I've been gotten, and I felt
Yeah.
really
So
scared.
how much do you want to bet? People listening to this podcast right now, they didn't know
Are
that was
finding
fake.
that out
Sure,
now,
yeah,
right
yeah.
now?
Just tripped
There
them
was-
out right
Yeah.
now.
On TikTok yesterday, I ran into it that somebody wrote. The idea was they wrote the song that Taylor Swift would write if she
Right.
breaks up with Kelsey or whatever, right? And then they put it into the AI that had her voice
That
or
makes
whatever,
the song.
and I was like, damn, this sounds like a Taylor Swift song.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
This
that stuff is
actually
crazy.
sounds like
Well,
her
those songs
song.
are all so modulated
Well,
anyway
fucking
that
don't
it's like
pick your
can
battles,
she even sing?
Stop,
You know what I mean?
Stop,
It's like
stop.
This- you don't want this
All right.
heat. You don't want the heat.
I was like, put this on,
Greg's-
you old man.
Greg's
So
giving me
quick.
the look of like I'm
Stop.
threatening you, but really he's scared because the Swifties are going to come to
Yeah,
this company.
that's
No,
what it
they-
is.
gonna
I'm
come
one
to
of
this
them. They know
company.
that I was one of the original.
You're their
ones. Don't
leader?
worry about that.
You're an original Swiftie. You are.
I was, man. I had the album.
Madeline
there.
Staley's getting pissed at me.
Don't, right? Joey's gonna come in
teasing.
here
I'm
too. You know what I
teasing.
mean? We'll all
Oh,
beat
Joey's
down with
going to
our
throw a
friendship
cup in my
bracelet.
head, but for a number of reasons. Get in line, you know?
So we're on this creative angle to go back to the documentary.
Yeah.
You mentioned it in passing. I think it's worth doubling back to.
Yes.
This is your first full-length feature.
Yes.
Have you've done obviously YouTube for so long now?
Yeah, I've been on YouTube for over, 11 years at this point. And I've done 3-hour-long X-Men documentaries, the Epic History X-Men series.
Dope as hell.
So, and I mean, 2 of those I did together. So it's like, but this will be on a different level because this is like, I'm going to be going places and interviewing people.
Yeah.
And so it is a step up. But I feel like with YouTube for my content, it's like a sinking ship. And for me, like, I got to get out. Like, I was born near the rat. I know a sinking ship when I'm on one. I'm like,
Sure.
I got to get off this ship. And so this is a pivot for me to like, it's forcing me out of the nest, which is a positive thing. And it's forcing me to go out on a limb and to do something I've never done before and go up a level and direct a full length film and host it and write it and
Yeah,
edit
yeah,
it
yeah.
and do all the things.
What's the distribution plan for this? Are you trying festivals? Are we doing like
Yes.
you want the traditional documentary distribution?
Yes, we're doing the festival circuit. We're also obviously looking to sell to streaming platforms or to a production company who wants to buy whoever, I'm
Yeah.
open to
So if
who
Netflix
wants to give me money. I'm into
pie
it.
in the sky thing. Like what's your is Netflix? Would it be like a Netflix thing or
I mean,
if you
would
could put it
be-
anywhere?
Yeah, I mean, I would be happy to have it on Netflix or Hulu or Amazon, any of those places.
Got it.
I mean, Netflix would be pretty cool, I
Yeah.
think. I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of people.
Some people watch it. A couple people watch it.
Documentary on Netflix.
Big
cool.
big user base. Yeah. that's
I'm-
the
Yeah, I
thing.
got a pretty big user base.
I'm curious though, just to watch. I mean, obviously we're fans of yours and we want to support, but I'll be curious to see that pathway because all of those platforms are so in need of good content.
Yes.
But they have they're in this weird place where they can't just come to jabronis like us
Right.
and be like, give us some stuff because we're like, here's 5 things that we made, but it's
Right.
Greg talking about a
Netflix,
PlayStation
I'll give you a game.
game.
We can have games daily every day. There you go. That's content.
You know what? Deal. That's a deal right there. Netflix.
Do you want a one-man show of somebody recreating the Santa Claus with Tim Allen? This guy.
You know how much I'd fucking love to produce that for you? Like shoot it like those old. Like you ever see like the BBC like
Well, I mean, you
plays?
have
They
these
just shoot the play.
screens.
Yeah.
God,
You
I
can
would
do it.
Yeah.
Like you have these screens.
Yeah.
Like you could project whatever you want on there.
Danica, we can
and
do lots of things, but it's just easier.
See, I was gonna say that's
To
the
try to
difference
play Payday
between
3
you
for
and
3
me,
hours.
right? Where it's like, yeah, we could do all that,
Yeah,
or we could just go play Spider-Man and talk about that. In 2 weeks.
We're like low hanging fruit, lowest common denominator with our content here.
Yeah, but you guys have like done really well with that, and
Yeah.
I'm like,
What's the business?
I'm like
right?
dying over here. I'm like, oh, I'm being
Yeah. So what do you
shoved
mean?
off.
You're
Like,
talking about being a sinking ship. You're talking about the rat.
Yeah.
What,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
exactly
The
do you
rat.
mean?
Rata.
Because like you are so diverse in everything you do. Are you you see what YouTube's dying for you? How? You know, you've been
Okay,
doing this for
well,
more than 11 years.
what YouTube wants is lowest common denominator content, and they want you to beef with other people,
Oh yeah.
and they want you to be on there like 5-7 days a week, like have content like constantly coming out, and they want it to be short content. And I don't do any
We
of
don't do
those.
that.
You're wrong.
That's why we're
Well,
podcast now.
podcasts can be super long,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's like either like they want a 5-minute video of you talking about a trailer or discussing a movie,
Right.
or they
11
want,
minutes of me talking about why that
so
streamer
long.
is toxic and
Yeah.
super transphobic or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
they want a lot of beef though.
Yeah,
love
they
that
want
beef
beef.
stuff or like drama things.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I just want to make a nice produced show with puppets where I'm breaking down, the Matrix and talking about how it's Aristotle's allegory or Plato's allegory of the cave, and they're like, and I'm going to put
No.
it out once every 3-4 months. I'm going to put out a 30-minute video, and they're like, go fuck yourself. Like, get out of here, bitch.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that's fine. I'm not like, it's like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not like, ugh.
Well, that's why I mean, like, I think diversifying is so important, right? It's
Yeah.
the same way we try to be on so many different platforms in different ways. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, that's why I also stream on Twitch and do all the other things that I do is like in the book clubs and stuff like that. Like those have been really great. So,
sure.
Yeah.
So when you're getting ready to make this documentary,
Yes.
and tell me if this is a stupid one because I've never made a documentary. Do you have like a mission statement, like what you're doing? Because obviously, I'm making an Akira documentary. It could mean
Yes.
so many different things. Are you
Yes.
talking about the impact, how it was made, all the above?
Okay.
What is going
Why
on?
do you-
What is happening?
Yes, you have a tab up on your screen that says, "Where does the Santa Claus live?"
First off,
Are you doing research right now? While
no, I haven't.
Also-
What?
You don't know the answer to that? Come on.
The North Pole?
Guys, you know what? As you know, I produce a well-run show here, and so there was a question.
Sometimes you let
if
me
we
host
go to
the
the
show.
questions.
Sometimes you let me.
We're
host
having
this
too
one.
good of a conversation. We're not going to get to the question, but somebody does a question about what was it? Lapland. All right. They got a question about Lapland, and if we get there, we get there, and if we don't, we don't. But I'm prepped.
My apologies.
God damn it! What's your mission statement for this? Don't touch me.
Okay. So right now, and this is the thing about documentaries is like you're going to interview a bunch of people and you might get some crazy information. So it may, you
Maybe
know,
change, yeah,
it
okay.
may change the trajectory a little bit here and there. We'll see what we get because you really don't know. So you have to leave a little room for the Holy Ghost
Sure, of
when
course.
you
Yeah,
make
yeah.
something like this. But right now, my initial mission is to specifically focus on the anime
Okay.
and how it impacted pop culture, how it continues to impact pop culture, the different people that were influenced by it and the different other properties that were influenced by it, and talk about like there's just so again like you were saying there's just like
Well,
so
right there, I
many
think
things.
is enough. Where I was like, oh, okay, that's your angle.
Well,
I
how
didn't
it
know-
brought anime to the West,
Sure.
how it popularized anime. I want to talk. I have questions about how it was animated. Where I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, they did this with an airbrush.
dude. In your
What? Like these holograms? Like so somebody with an airbrush, and I've used an airbrush. I don't know if you. I used to be an airbrush artist too. I've done it all. But it's like,
Fascinating woman.
but it's like it's hard. It's not like perfect. And
your
so you're-
video, right, where like the teaser for KindaFunny.com
Yeah.
Akira, you have the Tim Robinson. What the fuck?
Oh, yeah,
What-
yeah,
where
yeah.
it's like going and putting in the
these
light.
little and like
one
look,
by
like this
one.
stuff is like airbrushed. Like that's airbrushed. That's how you can see through it.
That's
And
so
like those
bad
light
and
trails
dumb.
and stuff. And I'm like, how? I don't even understand how you would animate that and make that. Like I don't understand, and I
Yeah,
want to know.
yeah,
So
for
there's
sure, for
questions
sure.
that I have, and I want to talk about the manga series versus the movie, and
So cool.
talk about all of that. And Akira is actually in the manga series.
Here it
He's
is. Oh,
just
no, it's-
jarred.
Yeah, because the manga series starts before the movie,
Here it is.
as far as like the timeline of it is concerned.
It starts. Wait, oh gosh, it's so long.
Because I know the movie itself is only like a few, like maybe the
It's
first
more
like,
like the
10
first,
books or something like that.
So there's 6 volumes. So the movie really encapsulates, I feel like, maybe the first 2 to 3
Right.
volumes, but more like 2, I
Because
think.
the lady that's like the cult leader, like the religious
Yes.
leader, she takes a bigger part.
Much bigger
in
role.
The rest of it, yeah.
Much
That's what my
bigger
people telling me.
role.
I
Lady Miyako, I think is her name.
I don't think I ever got my hands on the actual manga, and unfortunately, there's no way to do it now.
No, there is. You can
I
get a
know.
big
No,
box.
it's
set.
impossible.
I'm being lazy.
If
again.
only
It's
Nick
so
could
hard.
read it.
It's
Come
really,
all
really
off.
nice. I
That's
had a
tough.
wonderful.
Oh, you know they
One,
read the
one of
other
my
way.
wonderful followers got me for Christmas. He got me the big box set, and I was like, "Oh, thank you so much!" And it
That's
was so
incredible.
good. And the thing about the manga that's so interesting to me is that it forces you to read it so fast. Like you're reading it and you're just like, like it just begs to be read at this breakneck speed. But then at the same time, like if you look at these panels, like it's crazy these
detail.
fucking details on these buildings. You're like, you drew this many buildings and this many windows? Like,
How long did that shit take?
that's crazy.
How long were you in your parents' basement for while you were making this shit? You know what I mean?
It doesn't make any sense to me. And I mean, it's like, and this was coming out like, really, it's, I don't know.
That's
That.
that's why the movie. I mean, the movie itself is so important. It's just it's the discovery of that.
Yeah.
That is just inspiring and kind of daunting all at the same time.
Yes.
Just watching it, being like, what? How did someone do this?
Right.
This gigantic cityscape painting is on screen for 2.5 seconds.
Like,
and
nothing.
it is like the
Oh my God.
greatest piece of art you'll ever see.
Okay, so this is really cool. This is part of the reason that inspired me to make this. Is I was at Dragon Con and there's a guy named Joe the Peacock, and he is the collector who has the largest collection of production art from the movie. So he just started collecting cells and all sorts of stuff for a really long time. And he did a thing where he would break down Akira and he would play it and then he would stop it and he'd be like, okay, now let me tell you why this shot is crazy. And then he would like pull out the artwork from it and be like, okay, so this building was in this shot for 2 seconds, right? And there's like 3 layers of it. This is how big the painting was for a sliver. You only see a sliver of it.
Yeah.
And then inside each of the windows, it's like there's like different stuff. Like somebody went in there, it's like, oh, there's a little chair over here, and then there's like a little desk over there. And it's like, you didn't have to do that.
No,
You didn't
that's
have to do
flexing.
any of
That's
that.
just a flex right there.
It's a flex. It's
That's
like
like
a
you're
total
so
flex.
good at it
You're so good.
that you're like, I can just do this. I
And
can.
and
I
I
did it because
think-
I can.
That's why it like becomes like a living, breathing thing at that point. You know, like when so many people put so much of their life energy into something, into a piece of art, it just becomes alive. And I think that's what happened with Akira. And it's just seeing that was like, what? And like he even explained there's this one shot where so Otomo, the director, he wanted to make this movie like shot, it's not shot, it's animated, but looked like it was shot like a Hollywood film. Like that was his thing. It's like, I want to make this look like it was shot with cameras, Hollywood film. That's why you have all these lens flares. There's no lens.
Yeah.
There's no
just
lens
drew that shit
here.
in.
Like,
Back to Nick's
Yeah.
point, right? Of like it was a movie. It's
and
not,
he
you know, cartoon.
animated in even like a crane mistake where sometimes like a crane shot goes and then it goes a little too far over and has to come back.
Oh, that's funny.
And it's like, what? You animated a crane mistake just to make this more realistic? Like,
Blow these Westerners' minds, man.
I'll never see it.
crazy.
Then you
It's
go
crazy.
the next step and you just talk about the sound design.
Oh,
the
we're definitely talking
soundtrack,
about
and
that. Yes.
all of that, and just like what? Like
I know,
just being in those scenes where like
it-
when he walks into the bar and you just hear like the tactility of him clicking the jukebox and all
Oh,
that
yeah.
shit. You're like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, it's so funny. The soundtrack it was like created by a group of amateur musicians, and most of them were like teachers, doctors, lawyers, whatever, like salarymen. And it was led by a scientist who's also a professor. And it's just like, what? You know, like, oh my God. And it's hilarious, like more than anyone else who's reached out to me, like after I've announced this project, people are like, hey, I'm interested in working with you. You know, you get these emails here and there. Like 4 or 5 composers are like, I love this soundtrack. It is huge. It
That's awesome.
inspired me. If you want me to help on this, please let me know. And it's like, wow, I've got like all these composers just like coming up to bat, and it's
insane.
really neat. It's really cool.
I mean, look at that. Look at the lights. That's
I know, and
so sick.
Airbrush.
blew
Like,
my
what?
mind.
That's so dope. Look at this. Look at that.
I know. It's so beautiful.
Just so dense. Every image is
I'm
every
gonna
like,
I'm gonna
the
watch the
colors,
4K.
too,
I
it's
have the
like-
4K at home.
They
I'm watching it
have,
tonight.
They have so many more like colors. Like they're using so much more colors. Like they even had like specific colored paints created for this animation because they didn't have enough. Because a lot of it's like set at night, and most animations don't set them at night because it's really difficult to animate like with the colors and everything.
I mean-
it's just like, whoa, they had like 157 something colors that they were working with for this, and so. When you have like when they're animating it, you have like this little thing, this little sheet that tells you which color goes here and which color goes here. And then it's like, oh, we'll say there's a shadow cast or like a light put on someone. Then you have to like do all for just a second. Then it's like, oh, we have to color everything differently like this now. And it's like, it's such a mind fuck thinking about it.
I mean, the fucking bike, dude. Like,
bike is
there's
sick.
there,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
the
I
coolest thing ever.
The most homage shot, animated shot
everywhere.
in cinema history.
Everywhere.
but it's also just
What's the iconic shot of him sliding? Yeah, of course.
it's also so like expertly designed, and I always brought this up when we were reviewing the Star Wars movies, that it's so easy to look back at old media portraying sci-fi future and laugh at how cheesy a lot of the inventions are and how stupid some things look, but like an X-wing will always look cool.
Dope.
Yeah.
And the Millennium Falcon will always look cool, and all of the ships designs in these old Star Wars movies, they are still so iconic and never like grew to be like cheesy in any way. And like the bike in Akira is so fucking perfect, and it's still, I mean, we talk about the homage shot or whatever, but like I'm playing Cyberpunk right now, and there's a bike that you can use in Cyberpunk 2077 that's an homage to Kanada's bike, and it's still like the coolest looking shit ever.
Yeah.
And I think it's just so, but like that design just stood the test of time.
That's a toy bike, by the way, that I'm sitting on.
Oh, really?
Photo.
Oh, that's awesome.
My photographer Alan Amato photoshopped this toy bike
Oh my god, that's
in there.
insane.
He did such a good job.
I mean, even the
but the laser rifle,
but that had to have the battery.
the battery pack. I love the battery
I
pack.
fucking love the battery
It's
pack.
and it had the wire.
Yeah, that had a
connecting
wire
it.
connected to it. You're like, that's so.
But that grounds it in reality.
Dope,
And
yes.
it makes it more realistic.
It also
by
reminded me of my dad's first VHS recorder.
Oh yeah.
Because it had the
Oh,
it had the
yeah.
strap thing, and I think that's probably where they got it from,
Yes,
right? Like back in the
yes,
day, because it
yes.
would have been around the same time period.
Yeah,
God, it's such a
yeah.
cool.
I built that
time
laser
capsule.
rifle prop in the photo too. It was
Did you
super
really?
Fun, yeah.
Like you built it in real life for the photo?
Yeah, but out of like cardboard. But yeah, I built it in real life. Like,
That's
but
rad.
that's what I do. I build stuff out of cardboard and hot glue, and it works like a charm. You just here's the key, guys. Okay, here's the
listen.
thing. You build the box in the shape of the gun or whatever prop you need. Okay, then you print out a flat image of the skin of it. You just skin it like a 3D model.
Sure.
And then you just hot glue it on there, and it looks so good in photos. It looks like super realistic, but it's just a cardboard box. You know? And it doesn't matter if it gets banged up in Halloween.
When Andy's not here, when he's on vacation,
Yeah.
we do the same thing for him.
Cardboard box.
Oh, yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I made
Wow, I
I
didn't
made
know
a
that.
cardboard RoboCop costume that actually won Dragon Con's like
I got to see this. Is this
masquerade.
online?
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
Are
Comic Book
you-
Girl 19
I was gonna say,
RoboCop.
Danica's entire life is online.
Are you, how obsessed with you? How obsessed about RoboCop are you?
Oh, I made a RoboCop costume and I won a fucking costume contest with it. It's
Perfect.
intense.
Good.
Like,
Yes.
and that costume was not easy to make.
No, that's a hard costume.
It was a really hard costume. And I remember when I was, the guy that I made it with, my ex, he was like, oh, do you want to be like a female RoboCop? You know? And I was
wanna
like,
be fucking
no,
Peter
I
Weller
want to be
RoboCop."
RoboCop. I
You
don't want to
fucking
be.
idiot.
Dance
No, we're not
RoboCop.
putting tits on this. Get out of here. Like, I want to be RoboCop.
God, that's another one. Have you seen all the doc? Oh, you have, of course, all the behind the scenes stuff on RoboCop and how just miserable that was for poor Peter
Oh
Weller.
yeah, I mean that was like, I mean even me being in that suit was miserable. I
Tough.
mean it's tough. Like
Yeah.
it was a workout.
Holy shit.
So yeah, and again it's just like cardboard, and then you take the images.
That's
This looks
incredible.
This is real because this looks like
yeah,
that's insane.
I love the shadow on the right side. So the right side of your head's always in shadow. It's just baked in there.
yes, yes,
That's awesome.
That is insane.
Yeah.
You have fun.
yes, I
You
do.
do fun stuff.
I do. I really do. I have a really good time.
But you're fleeing YouTube.
But I'm fleeing YouTube. I mean,
No, you're not
I would.
fleeing
I'm not. I'm going to
forever.
continue to make stuff for YouTube.
Of course.
I just want to. It'd be nice
Diversify.
to make something that actually makes its money, though.
That'd be nice.
You know, that would be cool.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Because like I have to do all these other things. It's a loss leader. That's what they call it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just,
yeah.
like it doesn't make the videos don't make any money, but I do all these other things that people watch the videos and they buy like the merch or the
Yeah.
thing, or they go on Patreon, and then that's what sustains it.
And that's what comes back to, something I mentioned in this podcast earlier, right? Is the community and like I
Yeah.
feel like the mirror image, right? Where it is this idea that you launch this Kickstarter today, you have 130 backers at least before I hit refresh, right? And over $21,000 off of that, right? Like,
Yeah.
you have a community that shows up for you.
Yes, I'm so lucky, and I just feel very grateful to my audience, and I have a really loyal crew of awesome people, OG Fremen warriors who've been there and
Forever.
forever. And yeah, I've just had I have a really great, wonderful audience, and there are a lot of just very intelligent, cool people.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people like to complain, like, oh, people online and comments and blah, 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 and guys are gross. And I'm just like, that's not my experience. I've had a really wonderful experience interacting with people online. Not to say there's not trolls, of course there is. But it's like overwhelmingly, I find a lot of dudes really support my work and want to be there for me and show up and show out and have kept me going this whole time because I'm totally independent.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Very lucky.
Very lucky indeed.
Very grateful.
All right. So what's next for the documentary? Do you have to actually start filming it now?
Yeah.
You have all this money. Do you actually have to go make it?
Before that question, Cody Hagler in the live chat asks you, do you call any of them goats?
Any of your followers?
Any of your followers? Do you ever demean them in that
These
particular
fucking
regard?
hooved followers.
There is there's one guy and his nickname is the Deuce Bag.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Just big
So
enough.
There you go.
but he does act he earned it.
Okay.
You know.
I mean, that's a similar thing to Cody. I've never seen Cody is literally like you see those not hidden camera, the cameras they have in the cars when you're driving, dashboard cams.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
they'll pull at a stoplight and somebody walks in and then feigns like they got hit to fall down for attention. And I'll go back if you want, Cody. I have it down here. About 20 minutes ago, he's like, I got to get out of here. Blah blah
Gotta go
blah.
for a
He's
walk.
like he was walking away,
Yeah.
but then Cody's still here, eating a tin can, talking in the chat.
I'm cleaning.
Yeah, I definitely have some problem children. But they're mostly beautiful babies.
I don't want
That's
to talk
good.
about Cody anymore. So what happens now? So like you were talking about distribution, you're having a bunch of conversations, legal documents, yada yada yada.
Yes.
You're
Yeah.
doing this through the month of October,
Yes.
raising it, and
Yes.
then is it right to filming and like do you have your first stuff booked or how does any of that work?
Okay, so I have to start ordering all the merch for the physical reward tiers.
Sure.
So I want to do that and have that, ready so I can start shipping out all that stuff by the beginning of 2024. So that's one big thing. Also want to just start writing my scripted segments,
Sure.
things like that, and just like get my outline together. And then I want to start booking interviews with people like Joe the Peacock
Yep.
is going to be interviewed.
Gotta be.
And he donated his collection to the Academy Museum in LA.
Oh,
so
that's rad.
he'll be able to get me in there, and so we can get really wonderful
Oh, that's
B
incredible. Yeah.
shots of B-roll of the images and the production art and get to go through it. So I'm really looking forward to that. I've also got Jerry Beck, who was the co-founder of Streamline Pictures, who helped bring Akira over to America. And you know that on the poster where it's like, Neo Tokyo is about to explode. Like that was him. He like came up with
Oh,
that.
that's awesome.
So I've got him. I've got Ed Piskor, who's a comic book artist, and he has Cartoonist Kayfabe on YouTube, and he's a comic book kind of historian, and he'll be a really wonderful interview. He has a lot to say about Akira. He knows a lot about Katsuhiro Otomo. And I'm working on finding Japanese artists or other people who worked on it or are influenced by
Yeah.
it. I may have a line on the director of Ghost in the Shell, Oshi.
nice.
Maybe,
Yeah, yeah, of course,
maybe.
of
I don't want to, But I really want to work on those connections as well. And then this is like kind of my stretch goal for myself.
Jordan
is-
Peele? Jordan Peele loves
No,
Akira.
well,
Jordan
yeah,
Peele wants
well,
to make
yes.
it.
Mega.
Nope.
Yeah.
Has stuff in it.
Yes,
Like
but
the bike.
even bigger than that, James Cameron.
Ah.
James Cameron was really
that would be
influenced by Akira,
insane.
and it would be great to get Keanu Reeves if I could. I mean,
Oh.
that's like a really like. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get John Wick, but like it'd be cool. Maybe Guillermo del Toro, I think, would be really good. So like, I would love to get some people like that in the mix as well, because I feel like that would. Because there's also like this whole thing about Kodansha in Japan owns the rights, and so I need to get them to go, yes, we want you to talk about our film and you can use all these clips and all this stuff that you need to use. So I need to get them on my side. And I think that if I had people like that, they would definitely be more apt to take it seriously and want to release.
Do you think they would help you connect you with people like artists and things in Japan that worked on Akira?
Yes, if they are interested in what
Yeah.
I'm
So
doing
that's-
and I can
that's
get them on my side.
That's a huge get.
It's a huge
Yeah.
get. Yeah. So that's one thing. But it'll be a really interesting challenge to, talk to Japanese business people.
Sure.
I feel like
and
if you get
pitch everything.
James Cameron to say a few words, and you're like,
Yeah.
with this documentary features James Cameron,
Right,
that might
that's
go a
what I'm-
long way.
That's what I'm
toward
saying. And I know
legitimizing that
someone.
narrative.
Ever heard of him? He saw
Piskor,
Titanic.
who might
did.
have some ins with James Cameron. So it's like I know someone who might have. So we'll see. But that's like, I'm going to be praying. So all you out there, pray for me.
Yeah.
Let's get James Cameron. That'd be really cool.
What'd you point at me for?
I was going to say something like James Gunn.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
going to say, you know, James
Is he
Gunn.
helpful?
Well, they're both named James.
That's a weekly James
I'll
meeting.
take James Gunn.
Yeah. I was
They're all
thinking
in text threads.
we might, it's one of those where it's not an in by any stretch of imagination, but I could probably get you the email for Keanu Reeves' person.
Okay.
And we can start there.
Yeah.
And this sounds like a thing he'd want to do.
That's definitely me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he seems like a cool. I mean, I know he's like got a lot going on, so I mean, I don't know if I'd be able to get my message to.
This is right up his alley.
But
Yeah, exactly.
He's done with he doesn't want to do the John Wick movies anymore. So he needs distractions.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the internet and all the moviegoers, at large, wouldn't mind putting the next John Wick off a little longer.
Yeah.
And they would not
Keanu-
throw any hate your way.
Keanu,
about
would you like
were
to
the
be in
cause
this?
of
Yeah.
that. Ooh, that's good.
Thank
You've
you.
been working on that.
There you go.
I can
Yeah,
tell.
here
I'm
comes
not
your
doing it
version.
anymore.
Yeah.
I'm abstaining. I've retired from following Andy.
Oh, wow.
I'm not featuring for
Whoa,
Andy anymore.
unfollowed, unsubscribed.
Yeah.
My own person.
Fair enough. We could try to get Jack Quaid if you want. I don't know if he cares about Akira, but
Might be a little too
Thank
young
you,
for it.
thank
We'll
you,
see.
Anthony, for your
Yeah.
spirit energy.
but maybe his style of acting was influenced by
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who else we know.
Rahul Kohli.
I don't know anybody.
You know.
Someone said in the chat said Kojima. That would be incredible.
Yeah,
I'm sure he
yeah.
was very influenced by that.
Yeah, that's a good call. We could talk to Hideo.
Yeah. Be awesome to get
Blessing.
no, Blessing has no idea what Akira is. He's never heard of it before.
All we
Yeah,
ask is
we
that
talked
you,
went 3
about it.
years
He
ago.
was like, I haven't seen it yet.
all we ask is that if he put Greg's name in the credits, just thank you, Greg Miller. Special thanks to Greg
Yeah,
Miller.
yeah, yeah.
If I do anything?
Yeah, if you do
Okay,
it.
fair enough.
Yeah.
For sure.
Miyazaki's still alive,
And,
right?
and speaking of getting
Yeah.
your name in the
Yeah.
credits, you can get your name in the credits.
Oh,
At
on one of our
KindaFunny.com/Akira. Go to the Kickstarter before it ends on the 31st. Danika,
Yes.
you were a fantastic guest. Thank you for hanging out.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for
Please don't
having
stay away
me.
for 7 years.
I
You
know.
come
I'll be back. I'll be
Okay,
back.
Good. I appreciate
Now that I've
that.
got like Southwest card and I've got like Southwest points,
Yeah.
I can get up here like way easier.
Yeah. It's one of those, for me, there's a full circle thing of bringing
Yeah.
people who went to the spare bedroom to the spare bedroom.
Oh, yes.
And I love that, like, again, I haven't seen you in 7 years, and like you were just cool to chill on the couch all day long and talk to people and hang
Yeah.
out. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
was just like, I was like, yeah.
I
she
took a
still got it.
nap.
She
I
fits
took
in.
a nap out there.
Yeah.
I was like cracking up at your stuff you were doing. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
watching you as you were doing
Yeah.
your thing.
You fit right in here.
Yeah, I love it.
Awesome.
Chill vibe.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that chill vibe, of course, is the KindaFunny podcast. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table, each coming to talk to each other about whatever it is they want to talk about. If you want to talk with us, your best bet is to go to patreon.com/KindaFunny, where, of course, you could watch the show live, bring a tin can for Cody to eat in the chat. You know what I mean?
Tom, Cody.
I got
Tom,
it for you
Tom,
right
Tom.
here, Cody.
Cody's got some
He gets
grass
all
out
mad
there.
and just starts headbutting the wall. You know what I mean?
Don't show him
Melissa's
that.
gotta get the
I
spray
hope that
bottle.
Cody is a Capricorn. Like, please let Cody be a Capricorn. That would be amazing.
That would be
Let us
great.
know, Cody. You know.
He's chomping cans of corn.
Of course, you can write in to have your topic on the show, just like
Sorry, Cody.
we'll get to it eventually. But the topic I had here was from Ryan Povala Higgins about Lapland.
Mhm.
And I think you might enjoy Lapland one day, Nick.
What
and I'll
is
take you to it.
Lapland?
Let's
Okay.
do that. You were too entertaining. We didn't get
Okay,
to it.
okay.
You know what I mean?
All right.
Of course, you can write in, like I said, KindaFunny.com/KF podcast. Cody's a Virgo.
Oh, okay.
No,
Yeah, so
I'm a
Yeah.
Capricorn. I don't know if that helps.
I don't either. I don't know what I'm a Taurus.
Are
I
you-
don't know what it even means.
Capricorn's a goat.
Oh, I never would have.
You're a
known that.
bull.
Yeah, I knew that part.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah, you mess with the bull,
Bullshit.
you get the horns. You know what I mean?
Too sweet.
Too sweet. All right, I don't even know where I'm in the intro, outro. Whatever, you know it. Watch the show. It's Ryan's birthday, says Madeline. But Madeline says in all caps, Greg. Then normal. Then Ryan's birthday. You know what I mean? Make up your mind, Madeline. What are the caps gonna be? And Madeline, why did you want to catch a stray? You know what I mean? I'm sick of these fucking trunks coming off the bench. And I just
Sick
gotta
of
go,
these
bah,
fucking trunks.
bah.
Fucking knock
You know
'em out,
what I
knock their
mean? Like,
asses out.
it could have just been about Cody today.
What
but
was
now it's
dump about?
Madeline.
Jake
What was
Pinto,
dump
look at the
about?
emojis.
Remember, well, he's a goat, and he was trying to say, Greg told Melissa to dump me, but all he could get out was D-U-M-P send. Or I'm sorry, quotation mark D-U-M-P send. D-U-M-P send.
Goats will never be able to figure out the wasp.
The wasps, they can't do it.
Can't do it.
God damn it, this has been the KindaFunny podcast. You know where to get it and what to do. Thank you so much, and until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.